which is 8 hours ahead of PST, Pacific Standard Time, and 7 hours ahead of PDT, Pacific Daylight Time. Daylight savings, Pacific Daylight Time, began March 8, 2020 at 2 a.m. and ended November 1st, 2020 at 2 a.m.
Alright. Ms. Martinez, do you join in that stipulation?
Yes, Your Honor, join on this stipulation.
Court accepts the stipulation.
And further, there's a stipulation that exhibits 31 and 45 are accurate representations of the month of December 2020. Those exhibits are the calendars. One is in the binder under Exhibit 31, and the board that we've been using is Exhibit 45. Those are the month of December 2020, and then that Exhibit 32, which is in the binder representing the month of January 2021, and the board, Exhibit 46, representing January 2021, that those exhibits are accurate representations of those months and years.
May I see the board for December 2020?
Yes, showing that to you now.
Okay, thank you.
So stipulated, Your Honor.
The court accepts that stipulation. Those are accurate reflections of the day of the month for those respective years. All right. You may call your next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The people call Pablito Tabalanza.
Right over here, sir. Hold yourself right here. I'd like you to raise your right hand. You see somebody right over here?
Yeah.
And we got an interpreter right here for you, sir, okay? That's fine, right there, sir, right there is good. Raise your right hand for me.
Do
Do solemnly state under penalty of perjury that the testimony provided in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Take a seat right up there in the witness stand, straight here where that deputy's at.
Can we use that? I think I can use this one.
Okay.
Your Honor,
I know that he is being assisted by Tagalog interpreter.
Good morning, Your Honor. Dulce Aquino, Tagalog Certified Interpreter, certification number 589112. Oath is on file, Your Honor. Good morning.
The interpreter's identification has been verified by the court. Sir, can you please state your full name and spell your last name for the record?
Pwede pong pakisabi ang buong pangalan ninyo at bigyan niyo po yung spelling.
Ako po si Pablito Tabalanza.
I am Pablito Tabalanza.
Yun pa nun.
Please spell your last name for us.
Paki-spell niyo po yung apelido ninyo.
Tabalanza.
Tabalanza.
C as in zebra.
Z as in zebra.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Your
Magandang umaga
Honor.
po.
And, sir, I will ask that you respond in Tagalog, and then the interpreter will interpret into English for us.
Hihilingin lang po na sumagot po kayo sa Tagalog at isasalin po yan ng tagasalin sa inyo
Okay.
para sa kanila.
Oh,
Yes, Ram.
And the court does recognize that often witnesses speak English and their native language, but they feel more comfortable with an interpreter. So,
Kinikilala po ng korte na ang testigo po ay nagsasalita ng Ingles, pero mas komportable sila sa kanilang lingwahe.
Yes.
right, you may
Yes.
proceed.
Mr. Tabalanza, good
Yes, sir.
morning.
Morning.
Tabalanza, magandang umaga po.
I'm gonna show you a picture up on the screen. It's been marked as Courts Exhibit 3-1. Who is that person up on the screen?
Papakita po dyan sa screen na yan ang isang exhibit po, isang katibayan, at ito po ay minagahan na may numero pong sinabi. At sino po yung tao na yan?
Yung anak ko, si Maya.
That's my child, Maya.
Do you know who Maya was married to?
Alam niyo po ba kung sino ang asawa ni Maya?
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
What is his name?
Ano pong pangalan niya?
Larry Millete.
Larry Millete.
Do you see Mr. Millete in court here today?
Nakikita niyo po sa Ginoong Millete niya
Yes.
sa korte? Yes.
Could you point to him and tell us an article of clothing that he's wearing?
Pwede niyo po bang ituro siya sa amin at ipaliwanag niyo, isalarawan niyo kung ano ang suot niya?
Is there.
He's there.
Itim ang suot.
He's wearing black clothing.
Could the record reflect that the witness has identified the defendant?
Sinabi lang po na ituro na ng testigo ang nasasaktan.
Opo.
Not yet.
Mr. Tabalanza, can you be more specific about an article of clothing or something distinct about the person you just pointed to?
Ginoong Tabalanza, maaari niyo po bang mas isalarawan pa ng mas espesipiko kung ano yung mga kasuotan at kung meron pang karagdagan na nakikita at nakatangi-tangi doon sa itinuro ninyo?
Yung parang Amerikana yung suot. Saka may necktie.
He's wearing a business suit and wearing a necktie.
What color is the necktie?
Ano pong kulay ang kanyang kurbata?
Parang red and silver.
It seems like it's red and silver.
Right. The record will reflect that he has identified the defendant.
Ipapakita lang po sa itatala lang po na nakilala niya na tukoy niya yung nasasaktan.
Opo.
Yes.
Mr. Tabalanza, when did you meet the defendant, Mr. Millete?
Ginoong Tabalanza, kailan niyo po nakita na nakilala yung ang nasasakdal na si Ginoong Millete?
Nakita ng nakita.
What do you mean meet?
When were you first introduced to the defendant, Mr. Millete?
Kailan po kayo unang ipinakilala sa nasasakdal na si Ginoong Millete?
Ngayon lang pinakilala. Ano ibig sabihin ng pinakilala?
He was just introduced to me now. What do you mean introduced?
How long have you known Mr. Millete?
Gaano niyo na po katagal kakilala si Ginoong Millete?
How many
What?
years?
Ilang taon na po?
Mula nung nag-asawa na sila ni Maya, doon ko na nakilala.
Since they got married, him and Maya, I've known him.
How old was Maya when she married him?
Ilang taon po si Maya nung nag-asawa sila?
Ay, palagay ko, under age 17 yun. 17 siguro.
I think she was underage, maybe 17.
17 when she met him or 17 when she married him?
17 po nung makilala niya o 17 nung mag-asawa sila?
Siguro mga nag-asawa sila.
Maybe when they got married.
Kasi nag-aaral pa ng high school si Maya noon sa 4th year.
Because she was still in high school then, in 4th year.
So is it fair to say you've known the defendant for almost over 20 years?
Tama lang pong bang sabihin na kilala nyo na yung nasasaktan ng higit 20 taon na?
Wala siguro.
Probably.
Over the years, did you communicate on a regular basis with the defendant?
Sa mga buong taon po na yon, nakipag-communica ba kayo sa nasasaktan?
No.
Yes.
Would you talk to him on the telephone?
Nakakausap niyo po ba siya sa pamamagitan ng telepono?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you communicate at all by using text messages?
Nakikipag-usap ba kayo sa kanya, komunikasyon ninyo sa pamamagitan ng text messages?
Hindi.
No, ma'am.
So it would be solely by telephone, is that correct?
Tama po bang sabihin na ito'y sa pamamagitan lang ng telepono?
Cellphone.
Cellphone.
Sir, how old are you?
Ilang taon na po kayo, Ginoo?
73 na ngayon.
I'm now 70.
Ano?
I'm now
Running
73.
73. I was 73 by this 25.
I'm running 73. I will be 73 this 25.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Salamat.
And how old was your daughter Maya when you last saw her?
Ilang taon po yung anak ninyong si Maya nung huli ninyo siyang makita?
Hindi ko na alam. Mga 39 yata. 39 o magpo-40 na siguro.
I don't know anymore. Probably 39 or she was turning 40.
Do you remember when you last saw your daughter Maya?
Natatandaan niyo po ba kung kailan yung huling nakita yung anak ninyong si Maya?
Noong bago siya nawala.
Ano po?
Noong bago siya nawala.
Before she disappeared.
When did you see her? Was there an occasion?
Kailan niyo po siya nakita? Meron po bang okasyon?
Sa bahay nila.
At their home?
Where was their home?
Nasaan po yung bahay nila?
Chula Vista.
In
San Miguel, Chula Vista.
In San Miguel, Chula Vista.
Do you know the street?
Alam niyo po yung kalye?
Parang kalye. Ano yun?
It seems like a street.
Nakalimutan ko na yata.
What was that? I think I forgot.
Does Paseo Los Gatos sound familiar?
Could you please repeat that, Council?
Does Paseo Los Gatos sound
Uh-huh.
familiar?
Thank you. Yung po bang salitang Paseo Los Gatos, mukhang pamilyar po ba sa inyo?
Oo. Yun,
Yes.
yun ang alam kong street nila.
That's the street that I know.
Did you see your daughter Maya at Christmas time,
Nakita niyo po ba yung anak ninyong si Maya?
December 2020?
Nung Pasko, nung Disyembre po, nung taong 2020?
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
And showing you 3-2, which is up on the screen.
May papakita po ko sa inyong
Does that
tatlo,
look like a photo
dalawa. Nasa
Your
screen.
family celebration at Christmas 2020?
Yung po ba yung litrato ng selebrasyon ng pamilya ninyo nung taong 2020 po?
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you see your daughter Maya after Christmas 2020?
Nakita niyo po ba yung anak ninyong si Maya pagkatapos ng Pasko nung taong 2020?
Ano pa?
Yes, ma'am.
When did you see her?
Kailan niyo po siya nakita?
Sa kanila, bahay nila.
At their house.
Tell us about when you saw her at the house.
Sabihin niyo po sa amin kung nung makita niyo siya tungkol doon sa nung makita niyo siya sa bahay nila.
Naligaya rin. Okay rin siya.
She was happy, she was okay.
What were you doing at the house?
Ano
What was What was the reason for you being at the house?
Ano pong ginagawa ninyo doon sa bahay? Ano po yung dahilan bakit nandun kayo sa bahay?
Ano lang, yung binibisita ko lang sila paminsan-minsan.
I was just visiting them. I visit them once in a while.
At that time, during Christmas 2020 into January 2021, where were you living?
Nung panahon po na yon, mula nung Pasko nung taong 2020 hanggang Enero po nung taong 2021, saan po kayo nakatira?
Sa Moreno Valley.
Ano po?
Moreno Valley.
In Moreno Valley. Valley.
Who did you live with in Moreno Valley?
Sino po ang kasama niyong naninirahan sa Moreno Valley?
Yung anak kong panganay, Marie Chris.
My eldest child.
Saka,
Sige.
saka yung misis ko.
My eldest child,
Misis ko.
ano pong pangalan?
Asawa ko, Noemi Tabalanza.
Pangalan po ng anak.
Noemi. Ay, anak ko, Marie Chris.
With my eldest child, Mary Chris, and my wife, Noemi.
How far away from Chula Vista is Moreno Valley?
Gaano po kalayo ang Moreno po? Ang Chula Vista po sa Moreno Valley po?
Hindi ko alam ang milya, pero kung nagdra-drive ako, walang hindi masyadong matraffic, makukuha ko yun ng 1 oras at kalahati.
I do not know how many miles, but when I drive, I could get there in an hour and a half time.
And do you still drive?
Nagmamaneho
Yes.
pa po ba kayo? Yes, ma'am.
In the year 2020, was it common for the defendant, Mr. Millete, to call you on the telephone?
Nung taong pong 2020 po, pangkaraniwan lang po ba natatawag sa inyo yung nasasakdal na si Ginoong Millete sa telepono?
Hindi, minsan madalas.
Ano po?
Minsan madalas.
Sometimes it's most of the time.
Can you explain what you mean by that?
Pwede niyo po bang ipaliwanag anong ibig niyo sabihin sa sagot ninyo?
Masyado, hindi masyadong marami. Pero mostly, karamihan, tumatawag siya hanggang sa tawag siya ng tawag ko minsan.
Not a lot of times, but sometimes he keeps calling.
What would be the nature of the phone calls? What was the subject of the conversations?
Ano po ang nilalaman ng mga pagtawag niya? Ano po ang nilalaman ng mga pag-uusap?
Tinatawagan ako para kausapin ko si Maya. Sabi ko sa kanya, anong sasabihin ko? Wala naman siyang sa akin.
He would call me to ask me to talk to Maya. I asked him, what would I tell her? She has nothing on me.
Can you describe what the defendant would say to you in these phone calls when he would ask for help with Maya?
Pwede niyo po bang isalarawan kung ano ang hinihingi ng nasasakdal sa inyo sa mga tawag na ito sa telepono? Ano po ang gusto niyang sabihin ninyo kay Maya?
Pagsabihan ko lang siya, bigyan ko lang siya ng payo, humihingi siya ng payo. Pero wala na naman akong masabi na may bigay na payo kasi nakausap ko na siya, ilang beses ko na nakausap si Maya na binigyan ko siya ng payo. Larga naman siya ng tawag sa akin. Kaya sinasabi ko na kay Maya noon na si Larry palaging tatawag sa akin.
Interpret ko lang po.
Okay.
I told him I have nothing to tell Maya because I've already gave my advice and he would, I have no more advice to give, and I told him, I've already talked to her, but she would still keep calling, and he would call me.
Was your son-in-law, Mr. Millete, asking you for some advice?
Hindi po bang manugang ninyo, si Ginong Millete, humihingi ng payo mula sa inyo?
Hindi siya humingi sa akin ng payo.
He doesn't ask advice from me.
What, would he ask you for help in the phone calls?
Humihingi ba siya ng tulong? Ano pong tulong ang hinihingi niya sa inyo sa mga tawag na yun sa telepono?
Wala siyang hinihinging tulong.
No, he doesn't ask for help.
What was he asking you?
Ano pong hinihingi niya mula sa inyo?
Yun lang, yung bigyan ko ng payo yung si Maya.
Just to give Maya advice.
What kind of advice did Mr. Millete want you to give to Maya?
Ano pong klaseng payo ang gustong ni Ginoong Millete na ibigay ninyo kay Maya?
Yung nga ang tinagtataka ko kung anong klaseng payo ang gusto niya. Wala naman ako may bigay ng payo.
That was what I was wondering, because I have what kind of advice do you want me to give? I have no advice to give.
Was Mr. Millete concerned about something in these phone calls with you?
Si Ginong Millete po ba meron siyang ipinag-aalala dito sa mga mga tawagan ninyo sa telepono? Meron ba siyang ipinag-aalala?
Wala naman.
Nothing.
Why was he calling you to ask for you to give advice to Maya?
Bakit po siya tumatawag sa inyo para sabihin sa inyo na magbigay ng payo kay Maya?
What words was Mr. Millete saying to you
Ano,
in these phone calls?
dito po sa mga tawag sa telepono na ito, ano po yung mga salita na ginagamit ang sinasabi sa inyo ni Ginoong Millete?
Ano naman, yung sabi niya, kausapin naman si Maya. Tulungan naman ako, sabi niya. Anong tulong may bibigay ko?
He told me to, could you please help me talk to Maya? And then I told him, what can I do? What help can I do?
Was this help with her job, or with her children, or with their marriage? What was the subject of his conversation with you?
Ito pong sa pag-uusap ninyo sa telepono na ito po ba yung humihingi siya ng tulong na to, payo tungkol sa trabaho, sa mga anak, o sa pagiging mag-asawa nila? Ano po yung nilalaman ng pag-uusap ninyo?
Sa pag-asawa nila.
About their marriage.
What was his conversation with you about their marriage?
Ano po ang pag-uusap ninyo, pakikipag-uusap ninyo tungkol sa pagiging mag-asawa nila?
Lagi silang nag-aaway.
They're always fighting.
Did Mr. Millete want you to give advice for Maya to leave the marriage, or stay in the marriage, or
Sige,
something else?
si Ginoong Millete po ba gusto niyang magbigay kayo ng payo para umalis siya o humiwalay siya sa pagiging mag-asawa nila, o kaya manatili silang mag-asawa, o meron pang iba?
Wala kang alam kung gusto nilang mag-iwalay o ano. Pero ang alam ko, lagi silang nag-aaway. Hindi ko alam, pero ang ano ko, na alam ko lang na gusto na lang yata silang mag-iwalay.
I have no idea whether they wanted to separate or stay together, but they were always fighting, that I know, and maybe they just wanted to be separated from each other.
Did you have conversations with your daughter Maya about whether she wanted to stay in the marriage with Mr. Millete?
Nakausap niyo po ba yung anak ninyong si Maya kung gusto niyang manatili silang mag-asawa o yung panatilihin niya yung pagiging mag-asawa nila ni Ginoong Millete?
Hindi.
No.
Did your daughter Maya talk to you about things happening that were private in her personal life?
Yung anak niyo po bang babae, kinausap kayo tungkol sa mga bagay na nangyayari sa kanya sa pribado niyang buhay?
Hindi, pero minsan nag-uusap yata kami noon na nung tinawagan ako ni Larry, tapos tinawagan ko si Maya na sinabi ko kay Maya na tumawag na naman si Larry.
Okay, sandali lang po. No, but there was one time that I believe we were talking to each other, and then I called Maya to tell her that Larry called me again.
And then sabi ni Maya sa akin, pabayaan mo lang. Sabi niya.
And then Maya told me, oh, just ignore him.
Would you say that Mr. Millete called you more often in 2020 than in previous years?
Masasabi niyo po ba na si Ginoong Millete ay mas marami yung tawag niya noong taong 2020 kumpara sa mga nakaraang mga taon?
Mas maraming tawag niya sa akin kaysa ibang taon.
Yes, he had more calls than the previous years.
And were the calls similar? In other words, the subject matter was similar in each of those calls?
Sa bawat pong tawag na yon, yung mga pinag-uusapan po ba pare-pareho lang?
Pare-pareho.
Similar.
Regarding the nature of their marriage?
Tungkol po sa katayuan, sa kalagayan ng pagiging mag-asawa nila?
Oo.
Yes, ma'am.
At Christmas 2020, did you see Maya and Mr. Millete together?
Nung taong 2020 po, nung Pasko, nakita niyo po ba si Ginoong Millete at saka si Maya na magkasama?
Oo.
Yes.
Did you see the way they acted when they were around one another?
Nakita niyo po ba kung ano yung klase, kung paano sila kumikilos, yung gawin nila pagka sila ay magkasama?
Si Maya nasa loob ng bahay, itong si Larry nasa labas.
Maya was outside the house. Maya was inside the house, and Larry was outside.
Did Maya appear to be happy with Mr. Millete?
Nagmukha bang maligaya si Maya na kasama si Ginoong Millete?
Maligaya siya dahil andun sila sa lahat ng mga kapatid niya, saka siya maligaya.
She was happy because she was with her siblings.
Pero itong si Larry sa labas parang malungkot.
But Larry, he was outside and he seemed unhappy.
Describe the way Larry acted at Christmas.
Ipaliwanag, isalarawan niyo po kung ano po yung pagkilos ni Larry nung Pasko.
Parang nakaganito. Wala na, hindi na siya umiinig. Nakatayo lang sa labas.
He was just standing outside, his arms were folded this way, and the witness just crossed his arms, and he was just standing outside.
I would concur that the witness crossed his arms in front of his body, as the interpreter indicated.
So no.
Did you notice anything else about the way your daughter and Larry interacted that day?
Meron pa po ba kayong ibang napansin kung paano po yung pagsasalamuha po ng anak ninyo at nila po kung ano pong paraan?
Parang wala silang sa isa't isa.
It seems like they don't care about each other.
Did you have any conversations with Larry on Christmas?
Nagkaroon po ba kayo ng pakikipag-usap kay Larry nung Pasko?
Hindi.
No, none.
After Christmas, during the first week of January 2021, and I'll refer you to the calendar behind you.
Pagkatapos po nung Pasko, nung unang linggo, nung Enero nung taong 2021, tuturo ko po kayo sa kalendaryo nasa likuran ninyo.
Did your daughter Maya ask for your help with babysitting?
Humingi po ba ng tulong ang anak ninyong si Maya tungkol sa pag-aalaga ng anak?
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
What did she request?
Ano pong hiniling niya?
Punta ka sa bahay, Papa, alagaan mo muna itong yung anak yung bunso nila, si Lazaro.
She asked me, Papa, could you please come to the house to take care of their youngest, Lazaro.
Is that Lazarus?
Lazarus po ba?
Lazaro yata ang pangalan niya.
I think it's Lazaro. I do not know.
Did you also know him by a different name?
Nakilala niyo rin po ba siya sa ibang pangalan?
Oo, ano ang pangalan yung bata yun?
Yes. What was the name of that child again?
Do you know the name Tristan?
Alam niyo po ba yung
Tristan,
pangalan?
Tristan. Apo, Tristan.
Yes, Tristan. Tristan, yes, ma'am.
Mr. Tabalanza, do you have a lot of grandchildren?
Ginoong Chula Tabalanza, marami po ba kayong mga apo?
Marami po.
I have a lot.
How many grandchildren do you have?
Ilan po mga apo ninyo?
Siguro 16.
Maybe 16.
And Lazarus is Maya's youngest child?
Si Lazarus po ang bunsong anak ni Maya?
Yun po.
Yes, ma'am.
When did your daughter Maya ask you to come to the house to watch Lazarus?
Kailan po kayo pinapunta ni Maya pumunta sa bahay para alagaan hindi na alagaan ninyo si Lazarus po?
Bago siya nawala.
Before she disappeared.
If you look at the calendar behind you,
Kung titingnan niyo po yung kalendaryo sa likuran ninyo.
Yes, may approach.
and you see that Thursday, January 7th, is this, where I'm pointing here.
Nakikita niyo po yung Webes ng ika-7 po ng Enero kung saan niya tinuturo?
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
New Year's Day would have been the Friday before that.
Ang bagong taon po yung Biyernes bago nun.
In looking at the calendar, if you know, do you recall what day it was that she asked you to come to the house?
Sa pagtingin po sa kalendaryo, kung alam niyo lang po, alam niyo, matatandaan niyo ba kung kailan kayo pumunta sa bahay?
Nung bago siya nawala, at sinabi niya sa akin na pupuntahan ko, babysitting ko yung bunsong anak niya.
Before she disappeared, she asked me to babysit her youngest child.
Pero hindi ako pumunta kasi si Larry tinawagan ako
But I did not go because Larry called me
na hindi na ako pupunta kasi pupunta siya yung auntie niya doon.
that I don't have to come because his auntie will come.
Do you recall that she had called you on that Monday, January the 4th? Or
Nata-
some other day that week?
Natatandaan niyo po ba kung tinawagan niya kayo ng ika-4 nung Lunes po o may mga iba pang araw? Iba pang
Lunes,
petsa?
4.
Monday the 4th.
And when did she want you to come to the house?
At kailan niya po kayong gustong pumunta sa bahay?
Sa araw din yun.
On that same day,
Were you planning to go to the house to help Maya watch her son?
balak niyo po bang pumunta dun sa bahay para tulungan si Maya na alagaan yung anak niyang lalaki?
Ano po?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you go?
Nagpunta ba kayo?
Hindi kasi tinawagan ako itong si Larry na huwag na akong pumunta.
No, because Larry called me not to go.
Did you talk to your daughter again after Larry told you not to go?
Nakausap niyo pa po ba uli yung anak niyo yung babae pagkatapos kayo sabihan ni Larry na wag nang pumunta?
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
tell us about what happened with that phone call.
Sabihin niyo po kung ano nangyari doon sa pag-uusap sa telepono na yon.
Tinawagan ako ni Maya tapos sinagot ko siya at sinabi ko na hindi na ako pupunta kasi ayaw na ni Larry ako pupunta dyan.
I answered her call and then I told her that I'm not going anymore because Larry doesn't want me to go.
How did your daughter Maya's voice sound when she learned this information?
Ano ang tono ng boses ng anak ninyong si Maya nung pagkatapos niya malaman itong impormasyon na ito?
Sa tono ng boses, parang galit na.
With the tone of her voice, she sounded like she was mad.
How long did you talk with her on the phone?
Gano'n niyo po siya katagal na nakausap sa telepono?
Hindi masyadong matagal.
Not for a long time.
Was that the last time that you spoke with your daughter?
Yun po ba yung huling pagkakataon na nakausap ninyo yung anak ninyong babae?
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I get the day or time period of this conversation?
Oh, when was this phone conversation with your daughter?
Kailan po nangyari itong pag-uusap ninyo sa telepono na kausap niyo anak ninyong babae?
Yung Lunes yata yun, linggo. Hindi ko alam,
I think-
Lunes o linggo yun.
I think it was on a Monday or a Sunday. I do not know whether it was a Monday or Sunday.
But you were previously, I think, indicating that it would have been Monday, January 4th. Is that correct?
Pero sa sinasabi niyo po, mukhang ito po yung Lunes na yon, ang ika-4 po ng Enero. Tama po ba yan?
Siguro yung 4 yun.
Probably it was the 4th.
And it's your memory today that she asked you, excuse me, to come to the house that same day or
At
the
yun,
following day?
yun pong naaalala nyo ngayon na sinabihan kayo na pumunta kayo nung araw na yun mismo o sa sumunod na araw?
Sa araw na rin mismo.
On that same day.
So that would have been January 4th, 2021.
Kaya magiging lumalabas po na ika-4 po ng Enero yon, taong 2021.
Okay, siguro.
Yes.
Did you then go to your daughter Maya's house on Saturday, January 9th?
Nagpunta ba kayo sa bahay ng anak ninyong si Maya nung Sabado, ika-9 ng Enero?
Oo.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Why did you go to the house?
Bakit po kayo pumunta dun sa bahay?
Kasi, nung araw na yon, Sabado, ng umaga, tinawagan ako ng anak ko si Jay-R at sinabing punta ka sa bahay ni Maya at may nangyaring masama.
Because that Saturday morning, my child Jay-R called me and asked me to go to Maya's house and telling me that something bad happened.
Where were you when you spoke to Jay-R? Were you in Moreno Valley?
Nasaan po kayo nung makausap niyo si Jay-R? Nasa Marina Valley po ba kayo?
Opo, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
How did you get from Moreno Valley to Maya's house?
Paano po kayo nakapunta galing sa Marina Valley po papunta sa bahay?
Nag-drive ako.
I drove.
Kasama ko ang misis ko.
I drove with my wife.
And that is your wife, Nomi?
Yes.
Yun po yung asawa niyo si Nomi?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that spelled N-O-E-M-I?
Yun ang spelling po ba ng N-O-E-M-I?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
What time did you get to Maya's house on January 9th?
Anong oras po kayo nakarating sa bahay ni Maya noong ika-9 ng Enero?
Hindi ko matandaan pero alam ko mga alas 8, alas 9 siguro.
I don't remember clearly, but I believe it was around 8 or 9.
Could it have been closer to noon?
Ito po ba'y malapit na sa bandang tanghali?
No. Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
What happened when you got to the house?
Ano pong nangyari nung makarating kayo dun sa bahay?
Nung dumating ako sa bahay, pumunta ako sa loob. Nakita ko to si Larry.
When I got to the house, I went inside. I saw Larry.
At tinanong ko sa kanya kung nasaan si Maya.
I asked him where Maya is.
What did he say?
Sabi niya,
Ano po sabi niya?
nasa kwarto sa taas.
She said she's inside the room upstairs.
At ang ginawa ko, tumakbo ako pumunta sa taas at inaknak ko yung pintuan.
What I did, I ran upstairs and then I knocked on the door.
Walang sumagot.
No one answered.
Binundol ko ng binundol yung kwan. Wala.
I just kept bumping the door. I kept doing it repeatedly.
Could,
Nung walang
just for the record, the witness sitting there with his right elbow, moved his right elbow
like this.
several times, moved his right elbow to the side.
Pinapaliwanag lang po ng testigo, nakikita na ginagalaw niya yung kanyang siko sa patagilid ng paulit-ulit.
As he described hitting the door.
Habang pinapaliwanag niya kung paano niya binubundol yung pinto.
Mr. Tabalanza, where was Larry when you were knocking on your daughter's door?
Ginoong Tabalanza, nasaan po si Larry nung tumakatok kayo sa pinto?
Sa likod ko.
Right behind me.
And what was this the door to your daughter's bedroom?
Ito po ba yung pintuan para sa kwarto ng anak ninyong babae?
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you try to open the door?
Sinubukan niyo po bang buksan yung pintuan?
Opo. Ginanong ko yung hindi mabuksan.
Yes, ma'am. I turned it. It won't open.
How many times, did you first knock on the door?
Kumatok po ba muna kayo sa pintuan?
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
And why did you start hitting the door with your elbow the way you just described?
Bakit niyo po sinimulan na banggain, bundulin ng siko ninyo gaya ng pagkakapaliwanag ninyo? Bakit niyo sinimulan yon?
Kasi walang sumagot.
Because no one answered?
Were you trying to make more noise?
Gumawa pa ba kayo? Mas nag-ingay pa ba kayo?
Lakas ng anak ko. Nang tawag ko sa anak ko.
I called her loudly.
What were you saying?
Ano pong sinasabi ninyo?
Sabi ko, Maya, Maya.
I called her Maya, Maya.
How long were you knocking on the door and calling your daughter's name?
Gaano po kayo katagal na kumakatok sa pinto na tinatawag ninyo yung pangalan ng anak ninyo?
Hindi naman masyadong matagal.
Not for a while, not for a long time.
Would you say more than a minute, a few minutes?
Yung maaari siguro.
Masasabi niyo po ba na mahigit sa isang minuto o mahigit sa mga 5 minuto po?
Maaari siguro. Mga 5 minuto, ganun.
Probably for about 5 minutes.
Where was the defendant standing when you were making these efforts to try to call out to your daughter inside the room?
Nasaan po nakatayo yung nasasakdal habang sinusubukan yung tawagin yung anak ninyo na nasa loob ng kwarto?
Nasa likuran ko.
Right behind me.
What happened next?
Ano pong sumunod na nangyari?
Nung walang sumagot at tinanong ko kay Larry kung may susi. Sabi niya, meron.
When no one was answering, I asked Larry if he has a key. He said, yes, I have.
And can you describe or show us again what you just did with your hand?
Pakita nyo nga po uli, larawan nyo uli kung ano yung ginawa nyo ngayon sa kamay ninyo.
Binuksan niya, kinuha niya yung susi sa bulsa niya. Tapos binuksan niya yung pintuan.
He took the key out of his pocket and then he opened the door.
And for the record, the witness gestured as if putting his right hand, or did put his right hand down into his pocket as if to retrieve keys from his pocket.
Pinaliwanag lang po na yung kayo po yung testigo na sa kamay ninyo na kinuha ninyo yung umakto kayong kinuha yung susi sa bulsa.
It also appears as if he pantomimed putting the key in the lock.
Yes.
At pinabi rin po nakaragdagan doon na parang umakto rin po kayo na binuksan ninyo yung kandado ng susi.
Did this surprise you?
Nagulat po ba kayo dito?
Nang buksan niya yung pinto.
When he opened the door?
Did it surprise you when Larry had a key in his pocket?
Nagulat ba kayo? Nagtaka ba kayo na may nasa bulsa ni Larry yung susi?
Opo,
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
Bakit po?
hindi dapat na kasi hindi siya pumapasok sa kwarto.
The interpreter needs to
Hindi.
clarify. Ano po yan? Hindi dapat na ano?
Hindi dapat na may susi siya kasi si Maya lang doon sa kwarto.
He's not supposed to have the key because Maya is the only one who gets into that room.
What, did the key open the door?
Nabukas po ba nung ginamit yung susi? Nabuksan po ba yung pinto?
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
And prior to opening the door, did Mr. Millete tell you that he had a key?
Bago po sa buksan yung pinto, sinabi ba sa inyo na Ginoong Millete na meron siyang susi?
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, let me rephrase that. Before you asked Larry, did he tell you he had a key before you asked him?
Bago po, uulitin lang po. Bago po ninyo tinanong si Larry, Counsel, could you please repeat the question?
Yes. Did you know that Larry had a key to Maya's room?
Alam niyo po ba na hawak ni Larry yung susi sa kwarto ni Maya?
Hindi.
No, ma'am.
Did you only learn that when he pulled the key from his pocket?
Nalaman niyo lang po ba yon nung kunin niya yung susi mula sa bulsa niya?
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
What happened when you opened the door to Maya's room?
Ano po nangyari nung binuksan niya yung pintuan sa kwarto ni Maya?
Pumasok ako doon sa kwarto niya. Tinawag ko si Maya. 2 beses so Wala.
I went inside her room. I called Maya twice, but
wala.
none.
Sumunod sa akin, si Larry, dumiretso siya sa mesa ni Maya kung saan siya nagtatrabaho. At sinabi sa akin, wala yung credit card niya.
And then Larry followed me. She went straight to Maya's table where she works, and then he said, there's the credit card is not here.
Was that unusual to you?
Yung po ba yung kataka-taka para sa inyo?
Siyempre, nagtataka ako kung bakit yung credit card ang una niyang sinabi sa akin.
Yes, of course. I was wondering why he would tell me about the credit card first.
Explain what you mean by that.
Paliwanag niyo po kung anong ibig niyo sabihin sa sinabi niyo.
Kung bakit yung credit card niya ang unang tinignan niya, hindi siya kung andyan ang asawa niya o hindi. Sabi niya na andun sa kwarto, pero wala naman si Maya doon.
Yes, I was just wondering why he would tell right away first about the credit card. He did not even look around if Maya was there in the room. And ano pa po yung sinabi?
Sinabi niya na andyan sa kwarto.
Because he said she was in the room.
When you went into the room, did you look in the bathroom?
Nung pumunta po kayo sa kwarto, tumitingnan niyo po ba yung banyo?
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
You didn't see Maya.
Hindi po nakita si Maya?
Wala po.
Nothing. No, ma'am.
Did you look in the closet?
Tiningnan niyo po ba yung mga ka-closet po?
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
You didn't see Maya.
Hindi niyo po nakita si Maya?
Wala po, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Did Larry look in those places?
Tiningnan din si Larry ba? Tumingin doon sa mga lugar na yon?
Hindi.
No.
Showing you 2-24, which is up on the screen, is that Maya's desk in her bedroom?
Papakita ko po yung minarkahang 2/24. Yun po ba yung lamesa ni Maya sa kwarto niya?
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that the desk you're referring to?
Yan po ba
Where we
yung
went to?
yan po ba yung lamesang tinutukoy ninyo na kung saan siya pumunta?
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
Did he appear to look through her things to determine that her credit card was missing?
Objection leading.
May tiningnan niyo
Hold
po.
on. Well, you can say, you can say there's an objection.
May pagtutol lang po kanina na tinanong po na kung meron po bang siyang may tumitingin ba siya sa mga bagay. Pero may pagtutol po.
Your response to the objection.
That it's leaving?
Yes.
It's an open-ended question.
Over. You can answer.
Pwede niyo pong sagutin.
Alin?
What was the question again?
Did Larry look through any of the items on the desk before he said that the credit card was missing?
Bago sinabi ni Larry na nawawala yung credit card, tiningnan niya po ba muna yung ibang bagay doon sa lamesa?
Hindi.
No.
Counsel, because we're talking about 2 weeks later, I would like to cover that when looking at an exhibit as to whether fairly and accurately represents what it looked like on that day.
Okay, thank you.
Dahil lang po kasi ito nangyari na 2 linggo nakakaraan.
Important clarification.
Ito lang po.
Mr.
Importante,
Tabalanza,
malinaw.
Looking at this photograph 2-24,
Ginoong
is
Tabalanza.
that similar or different to the way the desk looked when you went into the room on January 9th?
Ginoong Tabalanza, pag nakita niyo po itong litrato na namarka ng 2/24, nandiyan po yung lamesa sa kwarto. Pareho po ba ito yung itsura nung makita ninyo? Dun
Hindi.
sa- No, ma'am.
Tumes already.
Ano po?
Masyadong magulo.
It was messy.
So it was, would you say, is it clean or messy in the photograph 2-24 up on the screen?
Masasabi niyo po ba yung nasa larawan na 2/24 na litratong nandyan, masasabi niyo po ba na magulo ang itsura niyan?
Po.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry. I think you're gonna have to rephrase that question.
Yes. Is the photograph up on the screen, is that the way the desk looked when you saw the desk on January 9th?
Yung litrato pong nandyan sa screen na yan, ganyan po ba yung itsura nung lamesa nung makita niyo yon nung Enero 9?
Palagay ko hindi na ganyan eh.
I think it was not like that.
What was different?
Ano po ang pagkakaiba?
Kasi kung ano ni Maya noon, maayos eh.
Because her Maya stuff then looks it was all cleaned up, in properly placed.
Describe what her desk looked like when you went into the room on January 9th.
Ipaliwanag niyo po, isalarawan niyo kung anong itsura ng lamesa niya nung pumunta kayo ng ika-9 nung Enero.
Wala, iisa lang ang yata nung nakita kong ano eh, screen ng yung ano niya, yung ano ba yun?
I believe I just saw one item there, only the screen of what do you call that?
Yung ano yung ganyan.
And
Parang yung computer.
similar to, it seems like a computer.
So, was the computer that looks up, that you see up on the screen, was that on her desk when you saw her desk on January 9th?
Nung makita niyo po yung lamesa niya nung ika-9 nung Enero po, yung screen na nakikita niyo ngayon sa litrato, nakita niyo po ba yan nung Enero, yung 9?
Yung ano lang nakita ko, yung yung isang computer, yung wala yung pangalawang computer.
I only saw one computer, I did not see the second one.
Are we talking about the computer screen?
Sinasabi niyo po ba yung screen ng computer?
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
Are there more items on her desk in this photograph up on the screen than there were when you saw the desk on January 9th?
Sa nakikita niyo po ngayon sa screen ng litrato, mas marami bang bagay na nandyan kumpara doon sa kung makita niyo siya ng ika-9 nung Enero?
Wala na, masyado na magulo yan.
This is all messed up.
So it's messier in the photograph we're looking at up on the screen.
Mas magulo po ito ngayon sa nakikita ninyo sa litrato. Sa
Opo.
screen. Yes, ma'am.
Regardless, you have a memory of Larry going to the desk on January the 9th and determining that the credit card was missing.
Kahit ano pa man po, may naaalala kayo, natatandaan niyo na si Larry pumunta doon sa lamesa at sinabi na nawawala yung credit card?
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
Did Larry look in the room for your daughter's purse?
Si Larry po ba, naghanap siya sa loob ng kwarto para doon sa pitaka o bag ng anak ninyo?
Hindi.
No, ma'am.
Did he look to see whether or not he could find her wallet?
Naghanap ba siya kung makikita niya yung pitaka?
Hindi.
No.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Did he attempt to call your daughter's phone?
Sinubukan ba niyang tawagan yung telepono ng anak ninyo?
Objection Vegas to time.
May pagtutulang po na malabo ito, hindi malinaw kung anong oras.
Sustained.
After you entered the room,
Pagkatapos niyo pong pumasok sa kwarto,
did Larry remain in the room with you?
nanatili ba si Larry doon sa silid na yung kasama kayo?
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
And after he told you that the credit card was missing, did
Pagka-
he, well, what was his, let me back up, start over. What was Larry's reaction when he opened the door and noticed that Maya was not inside?
Ano po ang reaksyon ni Larry pagkatapos niyang buksan yung pinto at napansin niyang wala si Maya doon?
Parang regular.
He seemed surprised.
Did he say anything?
May sinabi po siya kahit ano?
Objection hearsay.
Wala.
May pagtutulang
Yung ano lang.
po.
We've been hearing his statements for the last week. What is your response to that hearsay? Judge?
Party opponent, it's a defendant statement.
Objections?
Tinutugan lang po, pinayagan yung, hindi pinayagan yung pagtutal.
Do you want me to ask the question again?
Gusto niyo pong tanungin uli yung tanong?
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
Did Larry say anything when you went inside the room and observed that Maya was not there?
May sinabi po ba si Larry nung pumasok siya sa silid at napansin niyang wala si Maya doon?
Wala. Yung ginawa niya, diretso lang doon sa lamesa. Sinabi niya sa akin, oh, wala yung credit card. Yun lang.
No, what he did was he went straight to the table and then he said, oh, the credit card is not here, that's all.
Counsel, we've covered this twice. Can we move on?
I don't think it was responsive to my question, but I'll try to move it along. Did the defendant say anything about where he thought your daughter Maya could be?
Sinabi po ba ng nasasakdal kung saan nasa palagay niya kung nasaan yung anak ninyong si Maya?
Sinabi niya na baka nandyan sa labas.
He said maybe she's just outside.
Outside doing what?
Nasa labas, anong ginagawa?
Sabi niya siguro, nag-jogging siguro.
Maybe she went jogging.
Pero nagtaka ko yung sinabi niya yung sa akin na nasa labas nag-jogging. Bakit niya sinabi sa akin nasa taas sa kwarto si Maya nung dumating ako doon?
But I was wondering why he told me that Maya was upstairs in her room when I got there.
What do you mean by that?
Ano pong ibig niyo sabihin nun?
Nagtataka nga ako kung bakit niya sinabi na maka nag-jogging siya, pero sinabi niya sa akin noon na bago kami, sinabi niya sa akin na nasa taas si Maya, hindi pa siya bumaba.
I was wondering because when he told me she went out jogging, because he told me she was upstairs before we came down.
Yeah. Opo.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
So when you first got to the house, he told you she was in their bedroom.
Nung una kayong dumating sa bahay, sinabi niya na nasa kwarto siya.
Opo, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Did, after Larry said that her credit card was missing, did he make any attempt that you saw to call Maya's phone?
Pagkatapos niya sabihin na nakita na nawawala yung credit card, sinabi ba sa inyo na, na tawagan siya sa telepono?
Hindi niya sinabi sa akin.
He did not say that to me.
Did you see, so let me back up. So Larry did not say, oh, I'll try to call her phone.
Hindi sinabi ni Larry na, susubukan kong tawagan yung telepono niya.
Hindi, ako nagsabi sa kanya na tawagan niya si Maya o kaya sa yung mga kaibigan niya kasi sinabi niya na baka nasa mga kaibigan niya.
I was the one who told him to call Maya or her friends because he was the one who said that maybe he's with her friends.
At sinabi niya na wala nang numero yung mga kaibigan niya sa akin.
And
Nabura ko lahat.
And he said that I don't have his her friends' numbers. I deleted them all.
Did you see whether or not Larry tried to call your daughter's phone?
Nakita niyo po ba kung sinubukan ni Larry na tawagan yung telepono ng anak ninyo?
Hindi.
No.
Did you see Larry ever looking for your daughter's cell phone?
Nakita niyo po ba kung si Larry sinubukan na hanapin yung cellphone ng anak ninyo?
Hindi.
No.
Did Larry ever suggest to you that the two of you should look to see whether or not her cell phone was still in the house?
Sinabi ba ni Larry na kayong dalawa subukan ninyong hanapin baka nandoon yung telepono yung cellphone niya sa bahay?
Hindi.
No.
Can we back up a little bit? I wanna know about friends. There appears to be a statement that he made about it being with friends. Did you catch that?
Did?
Okay, yes.
Babalikan lang saglit kasi may nabanggit na baka nasa mga kaibigan.
Did Larry say he knew where May was?
Sinabi po ba ni Larry na maaring alam niya kung nasaan si Maya?
Hindi niya sinabi na alam niya kung saan si Maya, pero sinabi niya baka nandun sa mga kaibigan niya.
He did not say that he might know where Maya is, but she might be with her friends.
So he suggested that that was one possibility? Is that what you're saying?
Ang sinasabi niyo po ba, iminungkahi niya na maaaring isang posibilidad yon?
Maaari siguro sinabi niya sa akin na maaari nandun sa mga kaibigan niya. Pero sinabi ko sa kanya, tawagan mo nga yung mga kaibigan niya.
Well, he told me that he might be with her friends, so I asked him, will you call her friends?
Pero sinabi niya sa akin, wala nang numero yung mga kaibigan niya.
But he told me that he doesn't have the friends' numbers anymore.
Did he say why he thought she might be with her friends?
Sinabi ba niya kung bakit sa palagay niya ay nandun siya sa mga kaibigan niya?
Hindi niya sinabi sa akin.
No, he did not told me that.
Did he say that he had ever seen her leave the house that day?
Sinabi ba niya na nakita niyang umalis siya sa bahay na yon ng araw na yon?
Hindi.
No.
You asked him when he last saw her?
Tinanong mo ba siya kung kailan niya huling nakita siya?
Si Maya,
You
Hindi ko
you mean
tinanong.
Maya?
Correct.
Opo, tama.
hindi ko tinanong kung kailan niya huling nakita si Maya.
I did not ask when he last saw Maya.
Did he tell you when he last saw her?
Sinabi ba niya sa inyo kung kailan niya huling nakita si Maya?
Hindi.
No.
What was Larry's behavior like when he was talking to you after you saw that Maya was not in the room?
Ano ang klase ng pagkilos ni Larry pagkatapos niya sinabi na pagkatapos niyo kayong kausapin at sinabi na wala siya sa silid?
Wala, parang simple lang.
Oh, he said simple.
What do you mean by that?
Ano pong ibig niyo sabihin nun?
Wala siyang nawawala yung asawa niya. Hindi siya nagre-react.
He did not show any reaction that his wife is missing.
Did he seem worried?
Mukha po ba siyang nag-aalala?
Hindi.
No.
Was that surprising to you?
Yun po ba ay nakakagulat para sa inyo?
Yes.
Yes.
Why?
Bakit po?
Bakit hindi siya nag-worry kasi asawa niya nung nawawala? Bakit hindi siya maghahanap?
Why wasn't he worried because it's his wife that's missing? Why wouldn't he look around?
Were you worried?
Nag-aalala po ba kayo?
Opo.
Yes, ma'am?
Why?
Bakit po?
Siyempre, siya ang asawa niya, ikaw ang asawa, siyempre alam mo nawawala yung anak mo, o yung asawa mo, siyempre maghanap ka.
Of course, you're the spouse. If your wife is missing, of course you have to look around.
Why were you worried?
Bakit po kayo nag-aalala?
Kasi nawawala na yung anak ko eh.
Because my child is missing.
Did you tell Larry that you were worried about where Maya could be?
Sinabi niyo po ba kay Larry na nag-aalala kayo? Sinabi niyo kay Larry na nag-aalala kayo kung nasaan ang kinaroroonan ni Maya?
Hindi ko sinabi sa kanya na nag-aalala ko sa kanya.
I did not tell him that I was worried.
Did Larry ever reassure you that everything was okay?
Kayo po ba, binigyan kayo ng kasiguraduhan ni Larry na lahat ay maayos lang?
Opo. Tapos,
Yes, ma'am.
pwede ko bang inanon ko dito sa sa likod, ginanon ako. Sabi niya sa akin, huwag kang mag-alala pa, walang nangyari.
Yes, ma'am. May I describe how he put his arm around me and then telling me that don't worry, Papa, there's nothing going on.
Sabi niya pa, hindi ko magagawa yun.
And he said, I will not do that.
Who said I will not do that?
Sino po nagsabi na hindi ko magagawa yun?
Si Larry, sabi niya sa akin, hindi ko magagawa siyang kasi mahal ko si Maya.
It was Larry. He said, I will never do that because I love Maya.
I will never do that. What did he mean by that?
Anong sinabi niya sabihin na hindi ko magagawa yun?
Iyon nga hindi ko alam.
That I do
Anong
not know.
ibig niyang sabihin.
What he meant with that.
When describing putting the arm around him, I saw the interpreter do that. Did the witness also do that?
I didn't see the witness actually do anything with his arm.
Your Honor, this is interpreter. Yes, he was saying, can I show how he put his arm around me? And the interpreter was also doing the same gesture that he put his arm around him.
Okay, so
So gesturing with the right arm, kind of as if up and over another person's shoulder.
I don't know if it's right or left.
Well, I was the interpreter's right arm.
I think this is the interpreter counsel, he was showing with his left arm.
Mr. Tabalanza, do you recall what arm Larry used to put?
Natatandaan niyo po ba kung anong braso ang ginamit ni Larry para sa lagay sa balikat niya?
Sa kanan.
The right.
And where did you put his arm?
Saan niya po nilagay yung braso niya?
Dito po.
On my
Ginanon niya ako.
on my here? And
On what part of your body?
anong parte po ng katawan?
Dito.
This part.
Point to the right shoulder.
Tinuturo yung kanang balikat.
Witness pointing to his right shoulder.
Thank you. Had you had a conversation prior to this day with Larry when he could not find your daughter Maya?
Meron po ba kayo naging pag-uusap ni Larry bago po itong araw na ito na nangyayari na hindi niya makita si Maya?
Wala.
No.
When you went into Maya's bedroom, Was there anything unusual that you saw in the room?
Nung pumunta po kayo sa kwarto ni Maya, meron po bang hindi pangkaraniwan na nakita kayo sa kwarto niya?
Meron po.
Yes, there was.
What was unusual?
Ano po yung hindi pangkaraniwan?
Yung bed, yung bed niya, malinis na. Parang na ayos na.
Her bed was like it was made already. It was clean.
And
What was unusual to you about that?
Ano po yung hindi pangkaraniwan para sa inyo tungkol doon?
kasi kung si Maya, siyempre maaga-maaga, sabi niya maaga umalis, hindi pa niya linilinis yung yung bed niya.
Of course, Maya, when you said Maya left very early, she doesn't make her bed that early yet.
Well, who said that Maya left early?
Sino po nagsabing umalis siya na maagang-maaga?
Si Larry, baka maalis yung mga aga, sabi niya.
The interpreter needs to clarify. Si Larry po sinabing alis siya nakaumalis siya ng maaga?
Hindi sinabi, pero sinabi sa akin hindi niya sinabi sa akin na umalis siya ng maaga. Pero pag si Maya umalis ng maaga, hindi niya maayos yung bed niya ng maaga.
Interpret ko lang po. He did not say that she left early, but if Maya leaves early, she doesn't make her bed that early.
How long were you at Maya's house
Gaano po kayo katagal na natili dun sa bahay ni Maya
on January 9th?
nung ika-9 ng Enero?
Matagal na yun? Nakumunta o ano?
You mean it was been a while? You mean when I went?
When you went on January the 9th and discovered that Maya was missing, how long did you stay at the house?
Nung pumunta po kayo nung ika-9 ng Enero at nalaman nyo na nawawala si Maya, gaano po kayo katagal na nandun sa bahay?
Wala, hindi na ako nagtagal doon.
No, I did not stay there for long.
Would you say you were there for 15 minutes, or an hour, or 2 hours?
Masasabi nyo ba na nandun kayo ng 15 minutos, isang oras,
Medyo
o
matagal-tagal
dalawang
din.
oras?
Matagal-tagal din kasi hanggang maghapon eh.
Oh, it was a little longer than that. It was for the entire day.
Can you estimate about how long you were there in hours?
Matatansyan niyo po ba kung gaano kayo, pag sa oras po, kung gaano kayo katagal, ilang oras kayo nandun?
Siguro 6 o 7 o ganun.
Maybe around 6 or 7.
Why did you stay at the house?
Bakit po kayo nanatili dun sa bahay?
Kasi yung mga anak ko andun eh. Hinihintay ko sila.
Because my children were there, I was waiting for them.
Were you waiting for Maya?
Naantay niyo ba si Maya?
Oo, nantay ko siya. Kasi sabi nila babalikin.
Yes, I waited for her because they said that she'll be back.
Who said she'll be back?
Sino po nagsabing babalik siya?
Yun, si Maya, si Larry, yan.
That Larry.
So while you were at the house waiting for Maya, did some of your other sons and daughters come to the house as well?
Habang nandun po kayo sa bahay, nag-aantay kay Maya, dumating po rin po ba ibang anak ninyong babae, lalaki?
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
And did Maya ever come home that day?
Umuwi po ba si Maya nung araw na yon?
Hindi na po kailanman.
Ano po?
Hindi na po kailanman.
Not anymore, not ever.
What was Larry's demeanor, his behavior like throughout the day?
Ano po ang itsura o pagkilos ni Larry nung buong mag-araw na yon?
Wala, parang walang nangyari.
Nothing. Seems like nothing happened.
Did he seem angry or worried?
Mukha po ba siyang galit o nag-aalala?
Hindi.
No.
Hindi man.
No, ma'am.
Would you say he seemed calm or anxious, or how would you describe the way he was acting?
Paano niyo po maisasalarawan kung paano yung pagkilos niya? Mukha ba siyang kalmado o nagbalisang-balisa?
Kalmado siya, nandun siya pumunta, nakikipaglaro sa mga anak niya at saka yung tita niya.
He seemed calm, playing with their children and with their
Auntie.
auntie.
Was that different from the way you were feeling that afternoon?
Iba po ba ito sa kung ano yung nararamdaman ninyo nung araw, nung maghapon na yun?
Iba na.
Ano?
Iba na nga.
It was different.
As the day went on, how were you feeling?
Habang lumilipas po yung mga araw, kung paano naman, ano po yung nararamdaman ninyo?
Nalulungkot.
I was sad.
Why?
Bakit po?
Hindi na wala na yung anak ko kasi. Mahal na mahal ko yung.
Because my child was missing, I love her so much.
Had Larry in the past year, during 2020, at some point, did he have a conversation with you about one of May's coworkers?
No, council, let's take a break now.
Thank you.
Area.
I was about to I was about to.
Okay, then we're going to take a 15-minute recess, and we'll resume at 10.
Okay, magpapahinga po tayo ng 15 minutes.
Okay, remain seated, come to order. Court is back in session.
We are back on the record. Counsel and the defendant are present. The witness is still on the stand. You may continue with your direct examination.
Magpatuloy.
Thank you. Mr. Tabalanza, during the time that you described when you went to Maya's bedroom door, opened the door and discovered she was not inside, where was your wife?
Yes.
Ginoong Tabalanza, yung pong pagkakataon na pumunta kayo sa kwarto ni Maya, binuksan ninyo yung pintuan, at nalaman na wala siya doon. Nasaan po yung asawa ninyo?
Nasa labas ng bahay.
She
Sa
was-
harap ng bahay.
She was outside the house, in front of the house.
So she did not come inside with you?
Hindi po siya pumasok sa loob, kasama kayo.
Hindi.
No, ma'am.
Eventually, did she come inside the house?
Pero kalaunan po, pumasok din po rin pa siya.
Hindi ko nakita kung pumasok o hindi.
I did not see whether she came in or not.
She didn't remain outside the whole entire day, did she?
Pero hindi po siya nanatili sa loob ng bahay sa buong maghapon, hindi ba?
Hindi.
No, ma'am.
Was there anyone else inside the house when you discovered Maya was missing?
Nung
Other
mala-
than you and Larry?
Bukod po sa inyo tsaka si Larry, nung malaman ninyong nawawala si Maya, meron pa bang ibang tao sa loob ng bahay?
Meron po.
Yes, there was.
Who else was there?
Sino pa po ang nandun?
Yung auntie niya, saka ang uncle niya.
His auntie and his uncle.
They were there at the house at the same time?
Nandun po siya sa bahay na yon nung magkasabay?
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
Were they there when you discovered Maya was missing?
Nandun ba sila nung malaman ninyo na nawawala si Maya?
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you know their names?
Alam niyo po ba mga pangalan nila?
Alam ko lang yung pagtatawag nila ano ba yung pangalan yung babae, yung auntie niya.
I just know when they call,
Pero
what
yung-
was the name again of his auntie?
Pero yung uncle niya, pangalan niya Ricky.
But his uncle, his name is
Rick.
Rick.
Now, when we left before the break, I was asking if sometime in 2020, did Larry talk to you about one of May's coworkers?
Kanina po bago tayo nag-break, may tinanong po ako. Isa sa mga tinanong ba kayo ni Larry nung mga taon na 2020 tungkol sa mga kaibigan niya?
Hindi ko niyan sinabi sa akin yung mga kaibigan niya.
He did not say anything about his friend.
No. Did Larry have a conversation with you about one of May's friends or coworkers?
Meron ba si Larry nabanggit sa iyo, may nagpag-uusap ba kayo at saka si Larry tungkol sa mga kaibigan niya o katrabaho niya, Nene?
Sinabi niya lang sa akin na may mga kaibigan si Maya, may katrabaho, may mga kaibigan niya na kasama niya na mamamasyal,
Larry only told me that she has friends and coworkers that she goes out sometimes.
Have you ever seen Larry with a gun?
Nakita niyo na po ba si Larry na may baril siya?
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
When was that?
Kailan po yan?
Noong mayroon kaming, isang araw mayroon kaming family together sa Moreno Valley. At na lahat kami andoon, mas maligaya sila.
Interpret ko lang po. There was a day when we were all together at the Moreno Valley. We were all together. They were happy.
At ako naman nakatayo doon sa may harap ng bahay, tinitignan ko yung mga bata na naglalaro, yung mga apo ko.
I was standing outside at the front of the house. I was looking after my grandchildren playing.
Nang pumunta sa akin si Larry at sinabi sa akin na papatayin ko siya.
Objection, hearsay.
Tapos sabay taas yung t-shirt at may baril ako dito.
Okay, before we answer, I don't know if you heard him say something in Tagalog that is double hearsay,
Oh, okay.
but, counsel.
Well, if it's a statement of the defendant, then it's admissible as a
that's double hearsay,
Yes.
counsel, or just a hearsay statement,
think
that
it's-
you're objecting to?
Objectionable double hearsay, Your Honor.
Okay. I guess I need to hear a response, then I'll rule.
And then when Larry came to me, he said, I will, the interpreter needs to clarify, Your Honor, papatayin ko siya.
Mm-hmm.
Sino pong tinutukoy
Dalawang
niya?
beses niya sinabing papatayin ko siya.
Sino po yung tinutukoy niya?
Hindi niya sinabi sa akin.
When Larry came to me, he said, I will, Your Honor, the interpreter, because in our language, it's a gender neutral. So he said, I will kill her or him, I will kill her or him. He said it twice, and then after that, after saying that, he raised his shirt, and then he showed me his gun.
So this doesn't appear to be any type of a double hearsay statement, so I'm going to overrule your objection. Marcus, please. I'm just confirming the beverage rules here at the Central Courthouse. You may continue.
Mr. Tabalanza, you mentioned this happened at a family get-together in Moreno Valley, is that correct?
Ginoong
Yes.
Tabalanza, sinabi niyo po na nangyari ito sa isang pulong-pulong pagkikita-kita ng pamilya sa Moreno Valley po?
Opo.
Tama po ba?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember when in 2020 this occurred?
Alam niyo po ba kung kailan nung taong 2020 ito nangyari?
Hindi ko na matandaan yan.
I don't remember anymore.
Do you recall about how many months it was before Maya disappeared?
Natatandaan niyo po ba kung ilang buwan ito nangyari bago nawala si Maya?
Hari siguro 2 buwan, 3, ano?
Probably about 2 or 3 months.
And do you recall what the conversation was with Larry that led to him showing you his waistband?
Natatandaan niyo po ba kung ano yung pakikipag-usap niyo kay Larry, yung ano yung pinag-uusapan ninyo na nauwi ito sa pinakita niya yung kanyang sa may bangko, ano yung nasa bewang niya?
Wala na, ano, iyon lang kan. Nung pinakita niya yung baril niya sa baywang, umalis na lang ako para hindi ko na, ano,
Nothing. There was really no conversation. When he showed me the gun in his waist, I just left.
And you had gestured to your waistband, is that correct?
At sinabi, itinuturo ninyo sa may bandang bewang ninyo, tama ba?
opo, dito.
Yes, ma'am. Here.
Alright, this is kind of highly disjointed. Can we start over a little bit? I want to know how this incident began, exactly what he did.
You had mentioned you were in the front yard at the house in Moreno Valley, is that correct?
Sinabi niyo po na nasa harapan kayo ng bahay sa may hardin po sa Moreno Valley po, tama po?
Opo,
Yes, ma'am.
What were the children doing?
Ano pong ginagawa ng mga bata?
naglalaro sila dyan sa ano, harap.
They were playing in front.
And was anyone else having this conversation with Larry, or was it just you and Larry?
Meron po bang nakikikausap si ganitong yung pinag-uusapan na to, nakasama si Larry, nag-uusap sila, o kayo lang po, kayo at saka si Larry lang?
Kaming dalawa lang pinagsabihan niya ng ganun sa akin.
He just told the two of us about that.
Was it just you and Larry having this conversation?
Ang nag-uusap po ba kayo lang at saka si Larry?
Or
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
So no one else was standing with you and Larry?
So wala pong ibang nakatayo doon kasama ninyo at saka ni Larry?
Mayroon sila doon pero medyo malayo ng konti.
There were others there, but they were a little distance from us.
So they were not part of this conversation?
So hindi po sila bahagi ng pag-uusap na ito?
Hindi.
No, ma'am.
And what exactly did Larry say to you?
Ano po yung eksaktong sinabi ni Larry sa inyo?
Sabi niya sa akin sabi niya sa akin, ginanon niya din. Papa, patayin ko siya.
Papa, I will kill her or him. I will kill her or him.
Sabay taas yung t-shirt at ginanon yung baril dito yung baywang niya, yung baril.
At the same time, he lifted his shirt and then tapping what was on his waistband.
And what was on his waistband?
Ano po yung nasa bandang bewang niya?
Yung baril niya.
His gun.
Did he say who he wanted to kill?
Sinabi ba niya kung sino ang gusto niyang patayin?
Hindi.
No, ma'am.
Did he say what was the context of that conversation?
Ano po yung nilalaman ng pag-uusap na yon?
Hindi ko nga alam, maintindihan kung bakit nasabi niya sa akin ng ganun.
There was nothing. I don't even understand why he said that to me.
Had he said anything to you about suspicions he had about May and her coworker?
May sinabi ba siyang may suspecha siya tungkol kay Maya at saka sa katrabaho niya?
Wala.
No.
Did he ever tell you that he suspected your daughter of having an affair with a coworker?
Sinabi ba niya sa inyo na may suspecha siya na si Maya ay merong karelasyon dun sa katrabaho niya?
Hindi niya sinabi sa akin.
He did not say that to me.
Did you ask him what he meant when he said those words to you and pointed at his gun?
Tinanong niyo po ba siya kung anong ibig niya sabihin sa mga sinabi niya sa inyo tapos itinuro niya yung baril niya?
Hindi niya sinabi.
No, he did not say.
I'm sorry, what was the last question you asked? Gotta read back the last question.
Question, did you ask him what he meant when he said those words to you and pointed at his gun? Answer, no, he did not say.
Do you recall speaking with myself and my investigator, Mr. Rhodes, in January of 2022? So about a year ago?
Natatandaan niyo po ba na kinausap niyo ako at saka yung investigador ko, si Investigator Rhodes po, nung Enero, nung taong 2022? Mga isang taon na po nakakalipas.
Hindi ko na matandaan kung minsan nag-uusap kami noon.
I don't remember anymore. Oh yeah, I remember I spoke.
Do you recall that my investigator and I came to your daughter Jane's house
Natatandaan niyo ba
for
na
a meeting
ako?
with you?
Natatandaan niyo ba na ako at saka yung investigador ko nagpunta kami sa bahay ng anak niyo si Jane para makausap kayo?
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
And did you tell my investigator and I at that time that Larry patted the gun with his hand and stated he was going to kill May's friend or coworker?
Natatandaan niyo ba na sinabi niyo nung oras na yon na sinabi ni Larry na papatayin niya si May at saka yung katrabaho niya?
Hindi ko na alam kung nasabi mo na yun.
I don't know if I said that or not.
Do you recall whether or not Larry was more specific when he patted his gun and said he was going to kill this person?
Natatandaan niyo ba na si Larry naging mas tinukoy pa niya nung habang tinatapak niya yung baril niya at sinabi niya papatayin niya itong tao na to? Natatandaan niyo ba?
Hindi niya sinabi sa akin kung sinong papatayin.
He did not told me that whom he will kill.
Did he say it was a man or a woman?
Sinabi ba niya na babae ba ito o lalaki?
Hindi yun.
No, ma'am.
What did you say?
Ano pong sinabi niyo?
Sa akin, ay sinabi ko wala. Natatawa lang ako kasi akala ko nagbibiro lang siya kaya umalis na ako.
I did not say anything. I thought he was just joking, so I just laughed it off and then I left.
Had there been a conversation before he made these statements?
Meron bang pag-uusap bago niya sinabi itong bagay na to?
Ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Was there any conversation after?
May pag-uusap ba pagkatapos?
Hindi ko alam kung may pag-uusap na sila. Sa mga ano yan, mga bilas niya, mga ano niya, yung mga tao dun sa mga anak ko.
I don't know if there was a conversation between the in-laws and my children there.
I I should be more specific, was there a conversation between you and Larry after he patted the gun on his waistband?
Siguro po mas nilinaw ko. Meron pong pag-uusap pagkatapos yung tinapik yung baril niya doon sa bewang niya. Meron po ba kayong nag-usap pa ba kayo ni Larry tsaka kayo?
Hindi na. Nung katapos ng ginaganon yun, hindi na.
Not anymore. After he was tapping his waistband, no more.
Did you ever have another conversation with Larry about what happened on that day?
Nagkaroon po ba kayo ng pag-uusap ni Larry kung ano nangyari pagkatapos ng araw na yon?
Hindi na.
No, ma'am.
And then kind of going back to January 9th, the day that you discovered that May was missing, 2021, that night, did you go and stay at your son Jay-R's house?
Balik po tayo doon sa ika-9 ng Enero, taong 2021. Nung gabi na yon, natulog ba kayo sa bahay ng anak ninyo si Jay-R?
Kina Jay-R.
Yes, at Jay-R's.
Why didn't you go back home to Moreno Valley?
Bakit hindi po kayo umuwi sa Moreno
Kasi
Valley?
malayo.
Because it was far.
Did you go back to your daughter's house the next day on January 10th?
Nung sumunod na araw po, Enero Agis po, bumalik ba kayo sa bahay ng anak ninyong babae?
Parang hindi na yata. Hindi ko alam kung bumalik na ako noon o hindi pa. Hindi na.
I don't remember. I don't know whether I went back or not.
You mentioned your phone call with May on January 4th, 2021. Was that the last time you spoke with your daughter, May?
Natatandaan niyo yung pag-uusap ninyo ni May sa telepono noong ika-4 ng Enero taong 2021. Yun po ba yung huling pagkakataon na nakausap ninyo si May?
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you seen or heard from your daughter, Maya, since January 4th, 2021?
Mula po nung ika-4 ng Enero taong 2021 na nakausap niyo na ba siya o may narinig na ba kayo tungkol sa anak ninyong babae?
Yun lang, nung huli namin pag-uusap, yung tinawagan ako, pupuntahan ko siya doon sa bahay nila at alagaan.
That's the last time he called me asking me to come to take care.
And you have not seen her or heard from her since January 4th, 2021?
At hindi nyo na po siya nakita, wala na kayo narinig mula sa kanya mula po nung ika-4 ng Enero taong 2021.
Wala na.
Not anymore.
Thank you. No other questions?
Okay,
Wala.
cross-examination.
Okay. May tatanungin lang po ngayon.
Okay?
Hold on a second, counsel. Counsel, you may cross-examine the witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Mr. Tabalanza.
Good morning, ma'am.
Magandang umaga po, Ginoong Tabalanza. Good morning.
During 2020, how many times did you go and visit your daughter, May Millete and Mr. Millete, at their home in Paseo Los Gatos in Chula Vista?
Nung taong pong 2020, ilang beses po kayo nagpunta sa bahay ng anak ninyong si May at si Larry Millete po doon sa Paseo, sa Chula Vista po? Ilang beses po kayo nagpunta doon para dumalaw?
Hindi ko na matandaan.
I don't remember anymore.
Can you give me an estimate?
Pwede niyo po akong bigyan ng palapit ninyong tansya?
Wala na akong alam.
I don't know anymore.
Did you go to your daughter May's house during her birthday in 2020?
Nagpunta po ba kayo sa bahay ng anak ninyong si Maya po nung taong para sa birthday niya nung taong 2020?
Hindi ko alam kung napunta kami o hindi.
I don't know whether we were able to go or not.
In fact, you did not visit your daughter and Mr. Millete in 2020 because of COVID, correct?
Ang totoo po, hindi po kayo nakadalaw sa anak ninyo at saka Ginoong Millete noong taong 2020 dahil po sa COVID, tama po ba?
Hindi ko alam. Dahil sa COVID, hindi.
I don't know whether it was due to COVID or not.
When before you went inside your daughter's bedroom on that Saturday around close to noontime, before that time, when was the last time you entered her bedroom?
Bago po kayo pumunta doon sa kwarto ng anak ninyo at doon sa loob na yon, kailan po yung huling pagkakataon na pumasok kayo sa kwarto niya?
Hindi ko alam. Yung huling pagpunta ko, ang alam ko huling pagpunta ko, yung nung nawala na siya.
I don't know. I know the last time I went there was the time when she was missing.
Okay. So you had no opportunity to observe whether your daughter would fix her bed before she would get up in the morning to go to work, correct?
So tama po bang sabihin na wala naman kayong pagkakataon maobserbahan kung ang anak ninyo inaayos ba niya yung higaan niya, yung kama niya bago siya pumasok sa trabaho, tama?
Alam ko, kasi tuwing pupunta ako noon, alam ko na kung wala na siya at pupunta ako sa kwarto niya, titignan kung maayos, alam ko na talagang messy. Kaya sinabi kong nung ang na-missing siya, fix na yung kwarto.
I know that because before, every time I would go to the place, I would see her room and then to check whether she's there or not. When she's not there, her bed is messy. That's why when her bed was fixed, I know she was
not there anymore.
I know she was not there anymore.
So is it your testimony that prior to 2020 you visited your daughter frequently?
Ang sinasabi niyo po ba bago nung taong 2020 madalas niyong dinadalaw yung anak ninyo?
Oh,
Yes.
So that would be in 2019?
Mga taong 2019 po yan?
maaari siguro.
Probably yes.
So do you remember how many times you visited her in 2019?
Natatandaan niyo po ba kung mga ilang beses niyong dinalaw siya nung taong 2019?
Wala na. Hindi ko na matandaan.
No, not anymore. I don't remember anymore.
Did you ever babysit your grandchildren, May Milete's children, in 2020?
Nag-alaga po ba kayo ng mga apo ninyo, yung mga apo ni Maya Millete nung taong 2020?
Hindi ko na alam.
I don't know anymore.
How about in the year 2019?
Nung taong 2019 naman po.
Maaari siguro.
Probably yes.
How many times did you do that?
Ilang beses niyo po mga ginawa yan?
Marami ng beses.
A lot of times.
When you went there in 2019 to visit your grandchildren at Miss Milete's home, did you find Mr. Milete's parents in the house?
Nung dumalaw po kayo noong 2019 sa bahay po ni Ginang Millete po, nakita niyo po ba yung mga magulang ni... Counsel, could you please repeat the question? This is interpreter.
When you visited Miss Milete's home in 2019, in order to babysit the children, did you see Mr. Milete's parents in the house?
Nung dumalaw po kayo sa nung taong pong 2019 para po mag-alaga ng mga apo doon po sa bahay nila, nakita niyo po ba yung mga magulang ni Ginong Millete doon sa bahay nila?
Hindi ako mag-aalaga ng bata kung andun naman ang mga magulang ni Larry. Saka lang ako pupunta mag-alaga kung wala sila.
I don't go there to babysit if the Larry's parents are there. I just go there if they are not there.
So in fact, you didn't babysit the Millete children in 2020 because they did not leave the house until December of 2020. Is that correct?
Ang katotohanan po, hindi po kayo nagpunta, nag-alaga nung taong 2020 kasi hindi naman siya umalis ng bahay nung taong 2020, tama ba?
Hey, Council,
You know,
question,
you want-
question, hold on. That question is vague.
Let me
At the
let,
time, and who you're identifying,
Let me
I know
clear-
that there was a lot going on in 2020.
y- let me clarify, Your Honor.
Mapalinaw lang po kasi hindi malinaw kung ano yung panahon, kung kailan. Lilinawin lang po yung tanong.
Mhm.
Okay, so rephrase.
Thank you, Your Honor. You have known Mr. Milete's parents. Is that right?
Kilala niyo po yung mga magulang ni Ginoong Millete, tama po ba?
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
And you knew that Mr. Milete's parents were taking care of their children for about 10 years. Is that right?
Alam niyo po na ang mga magulang po na Ginoong Millete nag-aalaga na sa mga anak nila sa loob ng mga 10 taon, tama po ba?
Hindi ko alam kung ilang taon ng pag-aalaga na sa mga bata.
I do not know how many years they've been taking care of the children.
You don't really have a good relationship with Mr. Milete's parents, is that right?
Tama po kung sabihin na may maganda yung relasyon ninyo sa mga magulang ni Ginoong Millete?
Ang ganda naman ang relasyon
Convey
namin.
as to time and relevance, perhaps based on the vagueness.
May pagtutunan po kung
What is the relevance of that
ano
question?
Your Honor, Mr. and Mrs. Millete, Mr. Larry Millete's parents, resided with them, and they actually take care of the children. Since then, they reside with them. That's their home as well. So there's no need for Mr. Tabalanza to be babysitting the children. So it goes to his credibility, Your Honor.
pinapaliwanag lang po na doon din po nakatira yung mga magulang kasama nila. So, nag-aalaga ng mga
I'll
bata.
allow it,
Kaya nga sinabi ko,
but don't say anything, sir. I'll allow it for the credibility issue. It still doesn't mean that there could be one occasion where they asked them to come over.
And I would still object to relevance is, I understand based on the
Paliwanag lang po kasi.
speaking objection,
Sabi ko lang po kung ano
But
kinalaman.
whether or not he had a good relationship
Kasi
with
tanong natin kung
defendant
maganda ba ang
parents,
relasyon nila
I don't know how
sa
that goes to
magulang
his
na
credibility.
nasaktan. Hindi ko
And
alam kung
counsel's
ano
point. But also that
All right,
anong susunod.
I'll let you inquire, make it tight.
Your Honor, there is a problem in that household.
Counsel, I don't want you to testify.
Okay.
Kasi
I've just
nagpapalama sa
ruled that you
bahay.
can ask
Oh,
questions, you
I'm
can
sorry.
come to the area,
Sinabi ko lang
but I
po
want
sa
you to
inyo,
keep
tanong.
it tight in regards to
Pero
time
gusto ko
periods.
na-
And it would be helpful if you were to delineate between what the relationship was before she was reported missing
bago siya
and
nawala
after.
at
Because
pagkatapos.
obviously,
Dahil
there could be tension
kasi may
after.
tension
Yes.
pagkatapos.
You resided with Mr. and Mr. and Mrs. Millete when you first came to the United States, correct?
Noong una po kayong dumating dito sa Estados Unidos, kasama po kayong, tumira po kayo kasama ni Ginoong at Ginang Millete, tama po?
hindi kami kasama nung si Mikon, nung saka lang sila kami nakakakilala nung nag-asawa na nila. Si Larry saka si Maya.
I did not reside, only the first time I knew it when they got married.
Did you reside with Mr. and Mrs. Millete when you first came to California?
Are you talking about Larry and Maya?
I'm sorry, Larry and Maya.
Kayo po ba kasama kayong tumira na nirahan kasama si Larry at si Maya nang una kayong dumating sa California?
Apa,
Yes, ma'am.
How long did you stay with them?
Gaano po kayo katagal na nanirahan kasama nila?
mga may isang buwan siguro.
Maybe for over a month.
During that time, were you able to meet with Mr. Millete's parents?
Doon sa panahon na yon, nakita nyo ba, nakilala nyo ba yung mga magulang ni Ginoong Millete?
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
And you already knew that Mrs. Millete took care of your grandchildren from May and Larry Millete from the time that they were born. Is that right?
So nalaman nyo na si Ginang Millete ay nag-aalaga sa mga anak ni May at ni Larry Millete mula nung panahon na pinanganak siya. Tama ba?
Hindi ko alam.
I do not know.
When Miss Millete called you to babysit the Millete children on January the 4th, was it your understanding that Mr. Millete's parents were no longer available to take care of the children?
Nung tinawagan po kayo ni Ginang Millete nung ika-4 ng Enero, yun ang pagkakaintindi niyo po ba na yung mga magulang ni Larry Millete hindi po pwede na mag-alaga, wala sila para mag-alaga?
Yung ibig ko sabihin, yung mag-aalaga po kung wala yung mga magulang niya. Pero kung andun sila, hindi ako mag-aalaga.
What I meant is, I will take care if the parents are not there, but if they're there, I will not take care.
When your daughter called you on January the 4th, 2021, did she tell you that Larry's parents or Mr. Millete's parents were not available to take care of the children?
No.
Nung tinawagan po kayo ng anak ninyo, nung ika-4 ng Enero, taong 2021 po, sinabi ba niya na yung mga magulang ni Ginoong Larry Millete ay wala doon para mag-alaga?
Hindi sinabi naman kasi hindi niya sasabihin sa akin na wala sila dahil alam na nila na yung mga magulang ni mga Larry andun sa Texas, doon sila nakatira.
No, Maya will not say that because they know very well that the parents are already in Texas. They live in Texas already.
Kaya nga ako ang tinawagan niya para mag-alaga ng mga bata kasi wala yung mga magulang niya nasa Texas.
That's why she called me to take care of the children because the parents are in Texas.
And then you testified that Mr. Millete called you to cancel your scheduled babysitting with their children on January the 4th, 2021.
At sinabi niyo po kanina na kinansel ni Ginoong Millete yung pagpunta ninyo doon nung ika-4 ng Enero taong 2021 para mag-alaga ng mga bata.
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
What did you tell Mr. Millete when he canceled your scheduled babysitting?
Ano pong sinabi ninyo kay Ginoong Millete nung kinansel niya yung pagpunta ninyo para mag-alaga?
Sinabi niya sa akin na huwag ka nang pumunta, Papa, kasi pupuntahan ko na lang kay tita, ano ba yung tita niya? Siya na lang mag-alaga.
He told me that you don't have to come, Papa, because Auntie will come and she will take care.
And you didn't say anything to that?
Wala kayong sinabi kahit anong tungkol doon?
Wala na. Kaya ang sumunod na mga ilang oras yata o ilang oras na tinawagan ako ni Maya.
I did not say anything anymore after that. Probably after a couple of hours, Maya called me.
At sinabi sa akin, tinanong sa akin kung bakit hindi na ako pumunta.
She asked me why I did not come.
At sabi ko sa kanya, kay Maya, ayaw na ni mga Larry na pumunta ako dyan. Kasi andun na raw yung auntie.
Because I told her that Larry doesn't want me to come because his auntie is already there.
Do you recall if your daughter went to work on January 4th, 2021?
Natatandaan niyo po ba kung yung anak ninyo pumasok sa trabaho ng ika-4 ng Enero taong 2021?
Hindi.
No.
So she stayed at home.
Siguro.
Yeah, the objection is, I take it speculative.
Okay.
Foundation. Okay.
When your daughter called you on January 4, 2021, what time did she call you?
Nung tinawagan po kayo ng anak ninyo, nung ika-4 ng Enero, nung taong 2021, anong oras po kayo, anong oras po siya tumawag sa inyo?
Hindi ko na matandaan o maaga daling araw o ano.
I don't remember anymore whether it was morning or early morning. I don't know.
Did she tell you what time where you were supposed to be at her house to babysit?
Sinabi ba niya sa inyo kung anong oras kayo dapat pumunta sa bahay niya para mag-alaga?
Hindi niya sinasabi sa akin kung anong oras ako pumunta o hindi.
She did not tell me what time I have to come or not.
When you told her, yes, I would babysit, you didn't have any idea what time you should come. Is that right?
Nung sinabi niyo sa kanya na sige pupunta ako para mag-alaga, hindi ninyo wala kayong idea kung anong oras?
Wala akong idea.
No, I don't have idea.
At that time, was it your understanding when she called you that you were supposed to be babysitting on that same day, January 4, 2021?
Nung oras na tumawag siya, ang pagkakaintindi ninyo na kailangan pupunta kayo doon para mag-alaga kayo nung ika-4 ng Enero ng taong 2021.
Ayun nga, nung tinawagan ako kung bakit hindi na 2021 tinawagan niya ako.
When she called me in 2021, she asked me why.
Hindi ko alam kung tinanong niya sa akin bakit ako hindi pumunta.
She asked me why I did not come.
At tinanong ko at sinabi ko sa kanya, sinagot ko, ayaw ni Larry na pumunta ako dyan.
I answered, Larry doesn't want me to come.
At nagbibiro nga lang ako sa kay Maya na baka ayaw na ni Larry makita ang mukha ko. Kaya hindi niya ako pumunta dyan.
And then I even joked, Maya, maybe Larry doesn't want to see my face, that's why he doesn't want me to come.
What day did Mr. Millete call you to cancel your scheduled babysitting?
Anong araw po tumawag si Ginoong Millete sa inyo para i-cancel yung pag-aalaga ninyo?
Hindi ko alam kung linggo o Lunes, hindi ko alam.
I do not know if it was
Hindi ko na
Sunday.
matandaan.
If it was Sunday or Monday, I do not know. I don't remember anymore.
After you spoke to your daughter and informed her that you were not coming to babysit, what was her reaction to that?
Counsel, I don't mind to an extent questions being repeated on cross-examination, but
Okay.
we have an interpreter for a limited amount of time,
Okay.
and most of these questions have been asked on direct multiple times.
Pinapaliwanag lang po na.
Can I just have one follow-up question regarding that, Your Honor?
Kasi paulit-ulit na.
Oo, ilang beses na tinanong.
Yes, it has been asked.
No. You don't have to say anything, sir. She can
Wag
answer.
di po kayo kailangan magsalita.
Next question.
Thank you, Yana. Mr. Tabalanza, when you agreed to babysit your grandchildren, was it your understanding that your wife, Naomi, was also going to go with you to babysit?
Ginoong Tabalanza, nung kayo po ay tinawagan ng anak ninyo para mag-alaga, ang pagkakaintindi niyo po ba yung asawa ninyong si Naomi pupunta rin po para mag-alaga?
Hindi naman sinabi sa akin hindi naman sabihin sa akin kung pupunta siya. Kung kasama ko yung asawa ko o hindi.
I was not told whether she has to come or my wife will go with me or not.
Okay. So, let me ask you some questions about January the 9th. When you received a phone call from your son, you recall that?
Tanungin ko po kayo ng mga ilang katanungan tungkol po doon sa itong ika-9 ng Enero nung makatanggap po kayo ng tawag mula sa anak ninyong lalaki. Natatandaan niyo po yun?
Nga.
Yes, ma'am.
So from January the 4th to January the 9th, you did not hear any communication, whether it's text or telephone or in person, regarding your daughter, May Millete?
Mula po nung ika-4 ng Enero hanggang ika-9 ng Enero, wala po kayo narinig na kahit na ano tungkol sa anak ninyong babae, kung ito man po ay sa pamamagitan ng text, telepono, o kaya personal, wala po kayo narinig na kahit ano?
Ano na, yung naririnig ko lang yung mga bali-balita na nawala na yung anak ko.
No, I was just hearing the words that my child is missing.
When you first, on January the 9th, when your son called you, did he actually tell you something bad happened to your daughter, May? Or what did he say exactly?
Nung tinawagan po kayo ng anak ninyo, ang lalaki, nung ika-9 ng Enero, may sinabi ba niya talaga na mayroong masamang nangyari kay May? O ano yung eksaktong sinabi niya po?
Sinabi niya sa akin, nang tawagan ako, Papang, punta ka sa bahay ni Maya, may nangyari masama.
When he called me, he said, Papa, go to Maya's house, something bad happened.
Did he specify what that bad thing is or was?
Tinukoy niya po ba kung ano yung masamang bagay na yon, bagay na yon na nangyari o ano man yon?
Hindi niya sinabi sa akin kung anong klaseng anong nangyari o ano.
No, he did not say anything as to what happened or not.
Did your son tell you that Maya was missing?
Sinabi ba sa inyo ng anak ninyong lalaki na nawawala si Maya?
Hindi.
No.
Sinabi niya lang na may masamang nangyari.
She just said something bad happened.
But you did not have any idea what that was, correct?
Pero wala po kayong kahit na anong idea kung ano po yun.
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
So you proceeded to travel to Chula Vista at the residence, and you knocked at the door, correct?
Patuloy po kayo pumunta sa tirahan nila sa Chula Vista, tapos hindi po kayo kumatok sa pinto, tama?
Hindi, kasi diretso yung naka-open yung pinto sa labas.
No, because the door was open.
Perhaps you need to be specific as to whether it was the front door of the house or
Okay.
the bedroom door.
All right. And it was Mr. Millete, your son-in-law, who...
Their side,
Ano po?
nasa loob sila.
They were inside.
Mr. Millete was inside, and did he open the door for you? I mean, which door? Are you saying that the entrance to the house was wide open?
Nasa loob po yung manugang ninyo ng bahay. Ang sinasabi niyo po, anong pinto po? Ang sinasabi niyo po ba yung harapan na pinto ng bahay?
Yung harapan ng pinto ng bahay.
The front door of the house.
Okay. And you saw Mr. Millete standing there inside, near the stairs, or where was he?
Nakita niyo po si Ginong Millete na nasa loob, nakatayo. Nakatayo po ba siya? O nasaan po siya?
Nakatayo doon.
Standing there.
And he welcomed you in, invited you in, and he wasn't nervous, or what was his demeanor?
Ano pong itsura niya? Inanyayahan ba kayong pumasok o pinapasok na? Ano pong itsura niya?
Wala siyang itsura. Basta simple lang. Pumasok na ako, simple lang siya.
No, he did not show any demeanor. He was just, he acted simple. He just, sige po, ano po?
At tinanong ko sa kanya kung nasaan si Maya.
And then I asked him where Maya is.
Did he appear nervous to you?
Mukha po ba siyang ninenervyo sa tingin ninyo?
Hindi.
No.
And who was with him while he was standing there?
At sino pong kasama niya doon habang nakatayo siya doon?
Hindi ko na. Ang kasama niya doon mga bata. Saka ang tita niya. Saka yung uncle niya.
I don't remember clearly, but he was there with the children, his auntie, and his uncle.
Did you proceed to go upstairs in front of your daughter's bedroom after you entered, or did you go roam around the house before you went upstairs?
That's compound. Rephrase.
Okay. After you entered the front door and you saw your son-in-law Larry, did you engage in some talk with him before you did anything else?
Pagkapasok niyo po dun sa pinto sa harapan, nag-usap po ba kayo ng manugang ninyo si Larry? May ginawa pa ba kayo pagkapasok niyo?
Pagkapasok ko, tinanong ko agad sa kanya na kung nasaan si Maya.
When I entered, I asked him right away where Maya is.
He didn't hesitate to tell you that she was upstairs, correct?
At hindi siya nag-alinlangan na sabihin sa inyo na nasa taas siya, tama?
Hindi.
No?
And did you ask him if he can go upstairs and call your daughter to come down?
Counsel, could you please, this is interpretation.
When Mr. Millete told you that she was upstairs, did you ask Mr. Millete to go upstairs and see if Miss Millete can come down to see you?
Thank you. Nung sinabi po sa inyo ni Ginoong Millete na nasa taas po yung anak ninyo, sinabi ba ninyo kay Ginoong Millete na puntahan siya sa taas at tanungin kung pwede siyang bumaba para makita kayo?
Hindi na ako nagtanong sa kanya, basta dumiretso lang ko sa taas.
No, I did not ask him.
Nung sandali lang. Nung tinanong ko siya kung saan si Maya, sabi niya nasa taas, kaya naglakad ako dumiretso lang sa taas.
When I asked him where Maya was, he said he's upstairs, so I just went straight, go upstairs.
And where was Mr. Millete when you went upstairs?
Nasaan po si Ginoong Millete nung pumunta kayo sa taas?
Nasa likod ko.
He was right behind me.
Isn't it true that he was actually in the kitchen and not behind you?
He's
Hindi ba
not.
tama na nasa kusina, talagang nasa kusina naman talaga siya at wala siya sa likuran ninyo?
Nasa likod ko.
He was right behind me.
Could you please describe what Mr. Millete was wearing on that very moment when he was right there in front of you?
Pwede niyo po bang isalara?
Well, he's behind him.
Well,
Is that
okay.
the name?
Well, let me clean it up, Joanna. As you entered Mr. Millete's residence, you saw him there standing in front of you, correct?
Yeah.
Could you
Pumasok
describe?
po kayo sa bahay ni Ginoong Millete, nakita niyo po siya na nakatayo sa harapan ninyo, tama po?
Dito sa loob, nandun sa loob, hindi siya kaharap sa akin.
Inside, not in front of me.
Did you have an opportunity to see what Mr. Millete was wearing?
Nagkaroon po ba kayo ng pagkakataon na makita kung anong suot ni Ginoong Millete?
Hindi ko intindi yung kung anong klaseng suot. Ang iniintindi ko lang noon kung nasaan ang anak ko.
I was not paying attention to what he was wearing. What I was thinking about the time was where my daughter was.
Was there any reason why you did not use your cell phone to call Miss Millete when there was no answer after you were knocking and calling her name for 5 minutes? Is there any reason why you didn't call on the cell phone?
Meron po ba kayong kahit na anong dahilan na hindi ninyo tatawagan yung gamit po yung telepono ninyo, tawagan nyo siya pagkatapos nyo pong kumatok ng mga sa loob ng 5 minuto at walang sagot?
Paano ko tatawagan ng sa cellphone? Nandun ako sa harap ng bawang kwarto nila. Knock ko ng knock. Ang tinawagan ko lang yung pangalan niya.
How can I call her when I was right in front of her door? I kept knocking, knock. I just kept calling out her name.
Did you bring your cell phone with you on that day?
Nung araw na yun, dala niyo po ba yung telepono niyo?
Opo.
Cellphone niyo? Yes, ma'am.
Is there any reason why you didn't ask Mr. Millete, who was behind you, to just call Miss Millete to see if she's inside the room?
Meron po bang kahit na anong dahilan na bakit hindi ninyo sinabihan si Ginoong Millete na tawagan siya sa cellphone na nandun lang sa likuran ninyo para malaman kung nandun siya sa loob ng kwarto?
Hindi ko sinabi, hindi ko tinanong kung tawagan niya si Maya.
I did not say, I did not ask him to call Maya.
Isn't it true that when you asked Mr. Millete if he had the key, he said he had to look for it?
Hindi ba totoo na tinanong ninyo si Ginoong Millete kung meron siyang susi, sinabi niya sa inyo na hahanapin niya?
Hindi niya sinabi, basta dinukot niya yung meron.
No, he did not say. He just pulled it out of his pocket. There is.
Isn't it true that Mr. Millete was wearing an outfit without any pockets that day?
Hindi ba totoo na si Ginoong Millete, ang suot niya, kasuotan niya nung araw na yon ay mga damit niya ay walang bulsa?
Hindi ko alam.
I do not know.
During the time that you stayed at the Millete residence for a long time, were you able to observe Mr. Millete's clothing, what he was wearing that day?
Doon sa loob ng panahon na nandun kayo sa bahay nila Ginoong mga Millete, napansin niyo ba kung ano, napunan niyo ba kung ano ang kasuotan ni Ginoong Millete nung araw na yon?
Hindi ko napansin kung anong klaseng suot.
This is January 9th that you're asking about?
Okay.
Is that correct, Council? I can't hear you. Saturday the 9th.
Okay, yeah.
Is
Excuse
that
me,
the
Anna.
day you're asking about?
The same day that he testified that he stayed in their house waiting for Miss Millete to come home, he just stayed there.
I don't think it's been answered, but just ask again on January 9th. He remembers
All right.
what he was wearing.
On January the 9th, 2021, you testified earlier that you stayed in Miss Milete's house waiting for her to come home. Is that right?
Sinabi niyo po sa testimonya ninyo na nung ika-9 ng Enero taong 2021, nanatili po kayo sa bahay ni Ginang Millete at na inaantay siya na umuwi ng bahay. Tama ba?
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
While you were waiting inside the house, did you have an opportunity to observe what Mr. Millete was wearing?
Habang nag-aantay kayo sa loob ng bahay, nagkaroon ba kayo ng pagkakataon na mapansin, matingnan kung ano yung kasuotan ni Ginoong Millete?
Hindi ko inintindi kung anong klaseng suot. Wala akong alam. Hindi ko pinakialaman kung anong suot niya.
I was not paying attention to what he was wearing. I don't care what he was wearing.
After you searched Miss Milete's bedroom and found out that she was not there, and you decided to stay for a while or some hours, what did you do during all the time of waiting for Miss Millete to come back?
Pagkatapos niyo pong maghanap doon sa bahay na talaman ninyo na wala si Ginang Millete at nag-antay kayo, ano pong ginawa ninyo doon sa buong maghapon na yon habang nag-aantay kayo?
Iyak na lang ako ng iyak.
I just kept crying.
Why were you crying?
Bakit po kayo umiiyak?
Kasi wala na yung anak ko. Hindi ko na makahintay.
Because my child was missing already. I cannot wait for her anymore.
Was your wife still waiting outside while you were crying inside?
Yung asawa niyo po
I'm
ba?
not crying inside.
Yung asawa niyo po ba nag-aantay siya sa labas habang umiiyak kayo sa loob?
Hindi sa loob ko, sa labas na ako umiyak.
I was not
Maghapon na yata.
I was not crying inside. I was crying outside. I think the whole day I was just crying.
Okay, so when did you go outside of the house after you finished searching for Miss Millete inside the house?
Kailan po kayo pumunta sa labas ng bahay pagkatapos niyo po maghanap kay Ginang Millete sa loob ng bahay?
Hindi ko na alam kung anong oras.
I do not know anymore what time that was.
But actually, you left the Millete residence that afternoon and came back after several hours. Isn't that correct?
Hindi po ba tama sabihin na umalis kayo dun sa bahay ng mga Millete tapos bumalik kayo makalipas sa ilang oras, tama ba?
Nandiyan na ako sa labas.
I just stayed outside.
What time, if you were outside in the front of the house, or where exactly outside did you stay?
Counsel, I don't see the relevance to this line of questioning. You need to
Okay,
know.
I'll withdraw the question. When you were waiting at the Millete residence, did your other children arrive?
Habang nag-aantay po kayo doon sa bahay ng mga Millete, dumating po ba yung mga ibang anak ninyo?
Nako,
Yes, ma'am.
Who arrived?
Sino pong dumating?
hindi ko na maalam kung sino sa kanila.
I do not know who among them.
Did your daughter Mary Chris arrive at the Millete residence that afternoon?
Dumating po ba yung anak ninyong babaeng si Mary Chris doon sa bahay ng mga Millete nung hapon na yon?
Hindi ko alam kung hapon o umaga.
I do not know whether if it was afternoon or morning.
Do you recall speaking to officer of the Chula Vista Police on January 27, 2021?
Natatandaan niyo po ba kung may kinausap kayong mga opisyalis sa pulis doon sa Chula Vista po nung ika-27 nung Enero taong 2021?
Kahit ni isang pulis, wala akong nakausap.
Not even as police, I've not spoken. I did not speak to any police.
How long did you stay in Miss Milete's bedroom when you were looking for her?
Gaano po kayo katagal na natili sa bedroom sa tulugan ni Ginang Millete nung naghahanap kayo sa kanya?
Hindi ko na matanda kung may 5 minuto o wala.
I don't remember whether I was there for 5 minutes or not.
While you were inside Miss Milete's bedroom, did you observe any signs of fighting or struggling?
Nung nandun po kayo sa loob ng kwarto ni Ginang Millete, may napansin ba kayo na na may mga senyales ng nag-aaway o nagkakagulo?
Wala, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Was there anything that you saw on the walls that may have given you a clue that something was wrong?
Meron ba kayo nakita sa kahit na ano sa dingding na magbibigay sa inyo ng mga pahiwatig na merong masamang may mga maling nangyayari?
Wala, ma'am. Maayos lahat.
No, ma'am. Everything was clean.
When you say that Miss Milete's bed was made, do you mean that there were pillows in order and a comforter on the bed? Or what do you mean by she made up her bed or the bed was made?
Nung sinabi niyo po na maayos yung kama, naayos na yung kama na Ginang Millete, may nakita ba kayong mga unan, may nakapatong na comforter na anong ibig niyo sabihin nung sinabi niyo naayos na yung kama?
Yung unan, 2 unan, Saka yung ang blanket, parang tugi ng punta ka sa hotel.
There were 2 pillows there, and then the blanket, it was folded like, it's folded like you were in a hotel.
Did you see anything that gave you some indication that Miss Millete was packing things, or everything looks unusual?
May nakita po ba kayong kahit na anong bagay na nagbibigay ng indikasyon na si Ginang Millete ay nag-iimpake siya o mayroong bagay na hindi pangkaraniwan?
Wala akong nakita na puro maayos yung damit, yung pata lahat.
I did not see anything like that. Even the clothes were all in place.
Were you aware of the planned trip to Big Bear?
Alam niyo po ba yung planong biyahe papunta sa Big Bear?
Hindi ko, ang alam ko lang sa birthday ng anak niya, sa Big Bear sila mag-celebrate yata. Hindi nila sinasabi sa akin.
I am not really privy to that. I heard that on their child's birthday they will celebrate it at the Big Bear, but they don't tell me anything about it.
That means that you were not planning to go to Big Bear with them?
Nangangahulugan po ba yun na hindi kayo nagpaplano na pumunta kasama nila?
Hindi, ayaw ko pumunta sa Big Bear, lalamig.
No, I don't want to go to Big Bear. It's so cold.
Okay.
Hindi ko kaya ng lamig.
I can't stand the cold there.
Okay. So now, did you, when you did not see Miss Millete inside the room, what other rooms inside the house did you search?
Nung hindi po ninyo nakita si Ginang Millete doon sa loob ng silid, ano pa pong ibang kwarto ang hinalugog nyo?
Hindi ko hinalugog. Tumingin lang ako, 3 kwarto. Pag nang wala na siya, bumaba na ako.
I did not search. I just looked for a room after another, 3 rooms, and then I did not see her, so I just went down.
So did you exit the bedroom ahead of Mr. Millete, or did Mr. Millete leave the bedroom first and you were still inside Miss Millete's bedroom?
Nauna po ba kayong umalis, lumabas ng kwarto, nauna kayo kay Ginoong Millete, o nandun pa siya?
Hindi ko na matandaan kung nauna siya sa akin o ako ang nauna.
I don't remember whether I stepped outside ahead of him or I was the first to go outside.
Okay. So when Mr. Millete told you that his wife's, whatever it is that he told you that is his credit card, what was your response when he told you that? What's your response to him? When he told you that the credit card was not there?
Anong sinabi po sa inyo nung ni Ginoong Millete na wala doon yung credit card? Ano po yung sagot ninyo sa kanya doon?
Wala akong sinagot sa kanya.
No, I did not respond anything to him.
Did you ask Mr. Millete to search in the room to see if there was any other item missing?
Sinabi niyo po ba kay Ginoong Millete na hanapin, tingnan pa yung buong kwarto kung meron pang ibang bagay na nawawala?
Hindi.
No?
Did Mr. Millete indicate to you that there were other items missing in the bedroom?
May sinabi pa po ba meron po ba siyang sinabi na may indikasyon na meron pang ibang bagay na nawawala sa kwarto? No? None?
While Mr. Millete was in the bedroom, could you see what he was doing inside the bedroom?
Habang nasa kwarto si Ginoong Millete, nakikita niyo po ba kung anong ginagawa ni Ginoong Millete sa kwarto?
Hindi ko nakikita.
No,
Basta alam ko lang yung nung pumunta ako sa loob ng kwarto, hinanap ko si Maya kung nasaan. Ayun, hindi ko makita, yun na.
No, I did not see him. When I went inside the room, I just looked for Maya, and then when I did not find her, that's it.
Okay, so while you were there in the bedroom with Mr. Millete, there was no conversation going on with you and Mr. Millete?
Nung nandun po kayo sa loob
Well,
ng...
Okay, it was,
that's misstates the evidence. He's
Alright.
talked about what conversation they did have in the room.
let me just ask about, did you tell Mr. Millete how worried you were?
Sinabi niyo po ba kay Ginong Millete kung gaano kayo nag-aalala?
Sinabi ko sa kanya na kung nasaan ang anak ko.
I told him, where's my daughter?
But you didn't tell him how worried you were.
Pero hindi niyo po sinabi sa kanya kung gaano kayo nag-aalala.
Hindi.
No.
You also did not look in the backyard, correct?
At hindi rin po kayo naghanap sa likuran ng
Hindi ako naghanap sa likuran.
No, I did not look in the backyard either.
And you didn't ask anyone else if they knew where Miss Millete was.
Objection vague.
Well, let me just
Sustained.
withdraw that, Your Honor. Did you ask Clara May, your granddaughter, if she knew where her mother?
No.
Tinanong niyo po ba yung apo ninyo si Larry May kung alam niya kung nasa nanay niya?
Hindi.
No.
How about the other grandchildren that were there present in the house while you were searching?
Eh, yung mga ibang apo naman po na nandun habang naghahanap kayo.
Wala akong tinanong kung sa kanila kung masaan si Maya.
No, I did not ask any one of them where Maya was.
At that time, Simon, you were there at the house. Did you look at Miss Milete's vehicle if it was there in near the residence?
Noong panahon na yun na nandun kayo sa bahay, tiningnan niyo ba kung nandun yung sasakyan na Ginang Millete o kaya kung malapit sa bahay?
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
And did you find her vehicle?
Nahanap niyo ba yung sasakyan niya?
Andun sila lahat. Sinabi ko kay Larry kung nasaan yung sosi, yung kotse niya na Lexus.
I asked Larry where her key to the car, her car Lexus.
How about the Jeep? Did you see the Jeep parked near the residence?
Counsel, Your Honor, this is interpreted. Could you please miss a word?
Okay. At that time, well, you were there on January the 9th. Did you observe Maya's Jeep Cherokee parked anywhere close to the residence?
Objection misstates the testimony. The Jeep Rubicon.
No, it's a question that she can ask.
It's a new question, yeah.
Nung panahon pong nandun kayo, sorry, Your Honor. Is that,
Overruled, please.
I'm sorry. Nung panahong nandun po kayo, napansin niyo ba kung nandun ba yung sasakyan ni Ginang Millete na Jeep Cherokee nakaparada sa Malako?
Hindi ko na yata napansin. Pero parang nandoon.
I don't believe I saw it, but I think it seems like it was there.
Now, Larry, you stated that Mr. Millete put his arm around you. Isn't it true he was just attempting to calm you or, ease your concerns about Miss Millete at that time?
Objection calls for speculation.
Overruled. You can respond.
Hindi ba totoo nung nilagay niya yung kamay niya sa balikat niyo, braso niya sa balikat niyo na kinakalma lang kayo, para mapayapa kayo nung oras na yon?
Sinabi sa akin, huwag kang babalik din yun.
She told me, don't worry, she will come back.
Hindi ko magagawa yun kasi mahal ko si Maya.
I cannot do that because I love her.
That's why I wonder why did he said that? that he cannot do that.
That's why I wonder why he said that he cannot do that.
What that means.
What that means.
Sorry, I do want you to respond in Tagalog, so
Gusto ko po kayo sumagot sa Tagalog.
Opo.
Yes, Your Honor.
can you repeat just
Pakiulit niyo po.
Alin yung sinabi.
Which one, Your Honor?
the last statement?
Yung mga huli ninyong sinabi.
Sabi niya sa akin, huwag kang mag-alala, babalik din yun.
Ay.
At hindi ko magagawa yun, mahal ko siya.
He told me like, don't worry, Papa, she will be back, and I cannot do that to her because I love her.
Did Larry put his arms around you while you were outside the house or inside the house?
Nilagay ba ni Larry yung braso niya sa balikat ninyo habang nasa loob pa kayo ng bahay o nasa labas na?
Malapit kami sa front door.
We were close to the front door.
Were you about to leave the residence at that time?
Paalis na po ba kayo ng bahay nung araw nung oras na yon?
Hindi.
No.
Okay. Now, you're aware that Maya likes hiking, right?
Alam niyo po na si Maya mahilig siya mag-hiking po.
Papa.
Tama? Yes, ma'am.
And she doesn't go jogging.
At hindi siya nagja-jogging.
Si Maya.
You mean Maya?
Yes.
Opo.
Si Maya, nagja-jogging din siya.
Maya goes jogging.
And in fact, you've never seen her jogging.
At ang totoo, hindi niyo pa siya nakita na nagja-jogging.
Anong hindi? Pumunta doon sa taas, doon sa likod ng bahay nila.
What do you mean? She went up to the back of their house.
And in fact, Larry told you she went hiking, not jogging.
At ang totoo, sinabi sa inyo ni Larry na nag-hiking siya, hindi nag-jogging.
Kung alam ko kasi, ang jogging at hiking, parang iisa.
Because my understanding, jogging and hiking, they're all the same. They're one and the same.
And you also knew that Maya had left her residence for a period of time in 2020. Isn't that correct?
At alam niyo rin po na mayroong mga ilang pagkakataon na si Maya umalis ng bahay nila ilang beses ng taong 2020. Tama ba?
Hindi ko alam.
I do not know.
So is it your testimony that you did not know about Miss Milete's moving out of the house and residing with your son, Jay-R?
So hindi po ninyo alam, wala po kayong alam na si Miss Millete, umalis sila sa bahay nila at tumira siya kasama yung anak ninyo si Jay-R.
Alam ko yan, nung nag-aaway-away siya, minsan tumira doon.
I know that when they were fighting one time, she stayed there.
Did you visit Miss Millete when she was residing at your son's house?
It's outside the scope,
Okay.
correct?
Oh. What time did you leave Mr. Milete's residence on January 9, 2021?
Anong oras po kayo umalis sa bahay ng Ginong Millete noong 9 ng Enero taong 2021?
Hindi ko na po matandaan.
I don't remember anymore.
Was there any reason why you didn't wait for the police officers to arrive at Mr. Milete's residence?
Meron po bang
Foundation.
Sustained.
meron po bang dahilan kung bakit hindi kayo nag-antay na dumating yung mga pulis doon sa bahay ni Ginoong Millete noong panahon na yun?
Wala akong...
No, sir, I sustained the objection. You don't have to answer.
Huwag niyo pong sagutin.
I want to ask you about this incident that you described at the party in Moreno Valley. You recall that?
All right, we're going to have to stop. Madam Interpreter, what time will we have you back?
2 o'clock, Your Honor. 2 o'clock?
Yes. So you come back from 2 to 3.
Would you like?
Is there any objection to calling a witness out of order from 1:30 to 2?
No objection, Your Honor.
None at all.
All right then. We're going to recess. Sir, we'll have you back on the stand at 2 o'clock. 2
Bababalikin.
o'clock sharp.
Bababalikin po kayo dito ng alas 2 po, in punto.
Have a nice lunch.
Okay.
Court is in recess until 1:30. You'll have a witness at 1:30?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
Real quick before you leave,